Sure.
Buy clothes.
Go to a cow farm. The cow's there. You didn't. You didn't. All right, let's see. How many dollar bills for NP1 Kuku? Chat, place your bets. You have 30 seconds.
No, I literally have
You already set it
already
up.
set it up, Ash.
If they don't have time, it's already over.
Yeah, true.
Perfect.
You don't submit your votes now in the channel prediction, you're never gonna have your points multiplied by 5.
Just think that I'm there and I bet all my points on MP2 plus.
That's not.
I see that.
That should not be how a person bends at all. Shut up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes, the thing is, literally, that movie was so popular when I was a kid in Europe because of David Beckham.
You
That's
ruined.
why I'm dying.
We got a Torak reaction chat.
But did you bend it like Beckham?
Bro, that groan of like,
Of
it's
defeat.
so good. What? Ain't going on that highway. I ain't going over there. What do you mean? I went. Shut up! I didn't go to the soup store. Tell them what? I got food.
Why? What'd you get?
What food you get?
He literally spun a wheel and probably went with Andy's instead.
No.
No, that's something I would do.
Bro, you were talking about
Don't you try to throw me under the bus. No.
You're talking about 50 piece nuggets.
Listen here, Truckun.
Look,
I will send you to Jesus.
if you get killed by a truck, you get easy kind. If you get killed by a bus, you go to India.
What?
It's okay. It's muffin button.
It's on stream, Bob.
He absolutely didn't just.
And where did I get this muffin?
Nice hot blueberry muffin.
Yeah.
Oh no! Someone has posted this the hedgehog movie on. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh hell yeah!
I found it again. I found the version that lets you sit and enjoy for exactly the full duration on a.
Nice.
Chat, I don't know about you guys, but the streamer here, we're gonna find him and we're gonna throw mayonnaise at him.
Why?
You don't have a mayonnaise deflection shield.
Yeah, he does.
What is it called?
Muffin button.
You don't own a Chonga. I bet every single one of your chanclas has your foot imprint on it, and it doesn't stand. It doesn't sit right.
Yeah, it's supposed
Yeah, chancla's supposed to stand in the sheath, and then when you pull them out, you can throw them. Rapid fire. Like, you throw the sheath first, and then the chancla is. What do you mean?
like saying you throw.
Don't you tell me about dual wielding chanclas. You are not from that part of the world.
Okay, Bane.
I mean, look, the only reason they typically don't use two chancla style, one chancla's enough.
Listen, for all the Latin American mothers out there in the chat, if you throw one chancla, do you not have the other hand ready to catch the chancla on ricochet? Or do you dual wield? What do you mean?
Yeah.
A chonkling?
So, chat, you didn't get to hear, but I told them about the Book of Chonklings. It's like the Book of Grudges, except for it's the mental book that every Hispanic woman keeps in their mind for every time someone fucks up, and then they get la choncled. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today. We actually had some basic difficulties, and it was definitely causing problems. Literally, my capture card, for the first time ever between my two computers, wasn't working all of a sudden, and nothing I could do would fix it, so I had to completely reboot the computer. And then on top of that, I ended up essentially doing that and rebooting it, but then all of a sudden, not only was it still not working, but also the camera wasn't working at all suddenly. So it just caused me to do a shit ton of troubleshooting here at the beginning of stream. So my apologies for being late, but we're gonna get started right here. I just got the tweet out. Do me the favor, go give it some love as usual. And let me see if I have the sauce for you guys. I do. All right, we are good to go then. Let's get this party started. Hello, everybody. Again, I hope everybody has had a good... Oh, apparently I need to redo my actual video now, since it literally reset everything here. Give me 1 second. Let's raise that up. Okay. And there we go. We're good. What was I saying? Hello, everybody. How's everyone's evening going? Welcome to Tuesday. Yeah, we got Kuku rolls tonight. I do need to do some catching up on JP. Apparently, the 90++ node is out. I think, though, I am still somewhat behind. I think I got to get to 250 in order to have enough. So I will at least try to get there. But yeah, we're going to be going neck deep for Kukulkan here shortly. So it's going to be a thing. Really no news out of JP. We actually did get the Sprite 3 for Bashone yesterday. Again, it just was what it was. Why is it not connecting? I was going to say, last thing I need is more issues. Okay. There is now a point C, apparently, if you have finished the main story. So that is a thing, as it'll allow you to complete the ladders a little bit more efficiently. So I've been taking people that have their own point Cs just to help me get to the next thing, but I really have not had the opportunity at this point to do much. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. So I will probably... Well... it doesn't matter, no matter what I do here. Unless wait, did I have a Buster card with her? I don't know. My brain is just scattered at this point. But the third is quite nice. Yeah, I mean, I saw some people shitting on her third ascension. I think it's fine. I don't have any issues with it. I, again, just assume that this sort of thing is like, up to taste and stuff for people. I thought we were going to get the animation update for Medusa today. That would be nice. Anyone else having large buffering of the stream? You shouldn't be, because I'm not showing any drop frames on my end. How are things on the YouTube side, chat? Everything going swimmingly? Also, did I take a caster into a rider node? Man, I am doing swell. Really didn't understand the problem with Michonne's NP. It looked fine. Like I said, I don't really have any issues with it. My issue with her is more from the gameplay aspect of things, and I don't think she's a bad unit. I just think that she's a somewhat average unit, and most people probably already have a fairly good Lancer at this point, so they're probably just more likely to kind of abstain. And so that's kind of why, like, if you guys were around to watch the servant analysis on her, I basically said the position that I did. And it is what it is. I understand that, like, a lot of people basically usually jump to one extreme or the other. I'm not someone that normally will just tell you, like, hey, I don't necessarily recommend something. But in that case, it definitely felt like somewhat appropriate. So we'll just see. What am I doing? Right? It is what it is. Which small one? Not that much of a fan of her snake in her NP. Looks off. It's not supposed to be a pure snake. It's supposed to be like somewhat of a dragon at that point. Finally pulled Red Man after 5 years. Nice. Holy Scuff Batman. Yeah, this is definitely looking to be a good 3-turn here. Three turn, right, chat? And she's gonna be able to do it again in the next turn, so we're just gonna go ahead and do it, and then we'll let the Koyans have their turn. God, I'm sorry, chat. My brain is just all over the place. I'm a little bit fried today from work, so it is what it is. Art link. I'm sorry, I didn't give you guys today's art. That is what I meant to do. Here is today's art. Go give the artist some love. It is a fantastic Kuku piece. If you guys have never seen it before, it's an oldie but a goodie. It's from back when she first came out. Kuku fried his brain. No, trust me, it wasn't Kuku that did. It's work, technical difficulties, and other shit. It's just my brain is just gone. I would also like it if the screen doesn't just sit on the black screen there for forever. Let me grab that. Wait, was this the current node? There's another 90 node. Yeah, this is the current node. This is the one that I was doing. So I wasn't wrong taking what I took. I just took it to the wrong node. That explains so much. Now I understand why my brain is fried. Okay. Well, I'm just going to take that. That's free real estate right there. 15 multis, no Kuku. I don't go past halfway to pity as a rule. Well, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, again, this is a little bit of a teaser of Ace here. Again, like, you really... I basically could have done this from a Black Grail standpoint. So, a little bit, like, doing it from a 50% standpoint means I don't even have to use the third support, which allows me to essentially, like, level my Mystic Code. which is probably something I need to check to see if I actually switched the Mystic code over. Did I do that? No, I didn't. So there was no point to doing it this way. I'm doing fantastic. But she's also a unit somewhat like Arcuid, where she actually just gets better when the 5th append starts to exist. It's not that she's bad when she first comes out. It's that, like, there is a understandable limitation placed on her kit that seems to now, in retrospect, have been an oversight on the dev's part, because it just makes her even stronger now. So you can see, boom, there you go. Not only does she charge the other Koyan all the way up there, but she herself is literally just handling all of her own charge on the final turn. Came home 3 times in my second multi. Oh, don't say that. There are some people that'll make you angry about that. Hope I didn't miss rolls? No, you're fine. Thanks for laying it out. Do you believe that NA will have the Tiamat and Draco banners overlap as they did on JP? If memory serves, I think there was only like a couple of days of overlap, because Tiamat was the pre-banner and Draco was the actual banner. I don't know. That's like, that sort of stuff is difficult. I'll say if it happened on JP, there's good odds of it happening again, but there's also no guarantee. So just understand that it's entirely possible they run it early somehow. Like, inevitably, I would tell you to err on the side of caution, but you'll find out as you get closer anyways. Like, it's not going to change if you want to roll both those units. It's not going to change your desire to roll both those units. So you're still going to have to save for both of them, and you're still going to probably have to kind of like make some tough choices when it comes down to it. But if you do have the overlap, it allows you to say, like, roll Draco first and then go back for Tiamat, so that it can be a thing. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, right? Like at that point, maybe we get it. I would assume that it will happen in the way that it did on JP, but I wouldn't assume that it's a guarantee. Kuku can solo the Crush Advance quest. Listen, I've seen people like for instance, I think one of the people on one of the videos was saying, like, hey, you know, like, the only thing I'm thinking about getting Kuku for is for, like, challenge. I think that is missing the forest for the trees somewhat. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing to say, like, Kuku's good at challenge. She is. But I feel like that's precluding this idea of, like, oh, well, then I don't want to use her for farming. Well, why wouldn't someone want to use her for farming? She's one of the best damage dealers in the entire game. And the answer is, oh, because she has more button presses. And the reality is, nobody cares. Like in any normal circumstances, it's really not adding that much time to a run at all. And you quite literally sometimes, like, it just may be the best solution for you. So at that point, I'm just going to say, like, do it if you have to do it. But again, like, I wouldn't write a unit off purely out of, like, some sort of arbitrary argument like that. Because at the end of the day, chat, it really just boils down to, again, like, your options and whether or not you even need to be worried about time. If we're in a lotto, sure, that may be a thing. If we're not in a lotto, why do you care about time? There's really no issue there. Well, I guess we card out the rest of this because she's not at the 100%, or sorry, the 50% mark. There you go, now she got it. I actually could have popped that earlier and not had to deal with that, but it'd be what it'd be. Double the button presses, double the dopamine reaction. Yeah, pretty much, right? Like, and that's the other thing too, is like, yes, you do have to do more button presses. Well, you already have to do more button presses when you farm with Buster anyways. Like, so sitting here and being like, I don't want to use Kuku because I have to do more button presses, but I was already going to use a Buster system in which I already had to do more button presses than if I had done, like, arts or something. I don't know. It's just like it's an arbitrary line that people have drawn right there, where they go like, "No, this is too much, but this is just right." So it's like I don't really think it matters. Oh, it won't even matter. I don't need to pop any of this. Do we know about how long it takes for new mats to get added to the Pure Prism shop? Like the new mats coming out here. I believe it's still like, I think this is like 2 weeks after the launch of 7.2 or something. If I remember correct. 28th at reset. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, like it's there, but they're basically trying not to give it to you right away for two reasons. One, so that you don't just immediately go out and use the pure prisms as a reason to not have to farm, but also two, to like get you to have time to complete it and then go find the nodes and actually do the nodes. So it's kind of a double like incentive there of like, hey, we just actually want you to go out and farm the node, which I don't think is a like terrible approach by them. I think it's actually pretty fair. It's not like they're making you wait very long even still. It's just, you know, people have, you know, like, oh man, I need my unit. I need them maxed out like right now. And it's like, no, you don't. You're fine. Give it some time. And in general chat, and this absolutely goes like for every unit ever in the history of the game, always max the charge skill first. Almost always in like every single scenario, that is usually your first order of business. If you're ever tied up in terms of like having enough actual like materials for a unit, go with the charge skill first. Usually it's usually the answer. There are some exceptions, and usually those exceptions are things like, oh, like I'm Nito Chris and I have a charge skill that goes over 100%, or hey, I'm sorry, did I say Nito Chris? I meant like Cersei or Medea, right? Both of them have the rapid words, but like, yeah, there you go. There's Bichonne's third ascension. Would you recommend Kuku if you're going hard on Ace and NP5 Morgan? Kind of worried about foreigners and 90++. So, yeah, a little bit. And the reason why is exactly that. Foreigners themselves can be a little bit spicy. So you could solve this with Tiamat, or you could solve this with Kuku. And this is why I've told you guys, like, there are scenarios where these two actually can, like, overlap in terms of their usefulness. But it's also like, we're like, hey, if you didn't have Tiamat, Kuku works, or if you didn't have Kuku, Tiamat works. So like, not that huge of a deal, but my advice is probably to get like one of the two of them if you don't already have them. It's not a like gotta do type of thing. It's just a, hey, this will make your life easier type of thing. There are going to be other scenarios though, like where like Tiamat will be useful, or again, where like Kukulkan will be useful. So it just is what it is. But yeah, like your Morgan especially will struggle against a foreigner node. And will you get a foreigner node? Yes. Yes, you will. You know what? Actually, let's not touch that. I realize I'm going to get mired in JP story, and that I'm like not going to go to NA and spend my AP down over here. So. Would you say NP2 for Kuku for foreigner 90++ is enough? I think that's a pretty good, like, nice level for it, right? And the reason why is just, again, because if you're going to try to use Kuku in like a neutral environment, NP2 is going to be really what you need. If you're just using her when she's actually effective, sometimes you'll be able to get away with NP1. There may be like some 90++ content where you can't, though. But then you just have to ask yourself, do you actually like need to do the 90++ variant? Yada yada yada. Let's do yet another treasure vault. Actually, don't even think I've leveled my Tez at all yet, which is again partially due to the fact that I just already know that these new units actually do need the new materials, so there's no point in me really working on them just yet, because I know it's going to cause some issues. How is my... Yeah, we're coming along. During events, how hard is Tiamat impacted by lacking Black Grail compared to Kuku? So, I mean, compared to Kuku, well, the answer is obvious in that regard because Kuku doesn't really touch Black Grail, at least not without some scheming. Okay. Tiamat, however, a lot of her damage is going to come from Black Grail, so it will impact her damage output significantly. It's not going to be like the end of the world, though. Like, Tiamat's still going to do good damage without touching it. It's just going to be one of those deals where it's like, yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that it is quite literally a lot of it coming from Black Grail, and not even just Black Grail, but Oberon and his synergy with that Black Grail that is just such a force multiplier. And it's a really interesting thing, too, because if you look at this sort of thing, you can basically see a scenario in which you run a comp like you could run like the same like Tiamat comp, right? And you could basically run it with like double Koyanskaya and like, I don't know, like Reigns. Okay. And then you could run the same comp and it's double Koyanskaya and Oberon. And then you can run the same comp and it's double Koyanskaya, Oberon, and Black Grail. And each of these numbers will basically give you a rough percentile of just about how much each of these units is actually contributing, compared to what if you didn't have the unit or whatever, and you had to go with like another support, or you didn't have the craft essence and you only could use Oberon. So like that's a decent idea of like how to figure that out. And I think you guys will see like there is so much tied up like in this compared to this. Like it's a good chunk. We're talking like probably 50% in a lot of cases of the actual damage output. Yeah, I mean, and I say this, right, because like I think there's a lot of people that went out there and like, I'm not going to say like Melison's not a popular unit and that people don't like her or anything like that. But I do think there are some people that went out and they got a Melison purely because they were convinced that Melison was like the greatest thing ever and that she was going to be able to do like every node for them. Very similar to like how Space Ishtar was back in the day with all the hype that she had. And a little bit, you will not be able to do every single node with a 120 Melisson. You will not be able to do every single node with a 120 Space Ishtar. You will not be able to do every single node with a 120 Tiamat. You will not be able to do every single node. Like, you can kind of just keep going down the list, but the developers do this on purpose so that you don't just have a one-size-fits-all solution. And if you think about that, it makes sense. It's actually really smart of them, because the second they do that, why do you need to roll in any other unit? So their entire incentive in this game is to actually force you to, by way of making your ridiculously OP unit not work. And it's very simple to do if you just design nodes in a certain way. Gonna wait for her second banner. I'm not running the no safety net pity lotto. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because I've already seen like several people that I know of have gotten unlucky with her. Several people I know of have also gotten lucky, so it just kind of depends. But I have brought this up before, and I'll say it again. There's no guarantee of anything that I'm about to say, but like quite literally, yes, I'm aware like there is no safety net for like the second copy and stuff, and I know people that have already gotten shafted by that. Like they've gone over the pity amount, right? Or what should have been the pity amount. The longer you guys wait on any given banner right now on NA, the more likely it is that the next banner actually will have that quality of life for pity, where an NP2, NP3, NP4, and NP5 all have pity applied to them. So in that regard, delaying after getting like a first copy or something may be a smarter choice. I'm not going to say like you should do that. I'm just going to say like, yes, there is some logic to that there is a chance that, again, with every passing day that we get that quality of life either early or like right on time when we're supposed to get it. You only need one ticket in a dream. I am people. Yes, Bob is one of those people. NA hasn't given me a reason to unlock a single append. Deontay, they will never give you a reason to unlock an append with your attitude towards it. like there's nothing they can do that will ever make you because you don't want to. Even with Draco, do we have the benefit of the rerun in a year? Yeah. So it's like, again, you know, I think like you're safe obviously for the first copy of any unit, but after that it's the Wild West again. You're right back to the good old days, and I say that with extreme prejudice of like, hey, yeah, there's no pity, and you might get fleeced for, you know, 2k plus. So that's always something to be aware of. I'm cognizant of it whenever I roll. I know it can happen to me. I've been lucky in that regard. It hasn't happened to me with like any of the copies beyond that. And realistically speaking, I think when NA finally does get that quality of life, it's like a ding dong, the witch is dead moment. Like literally, we will never be shafted ever again more than 900 quartz once NA gets it. Because at that point, every server will have it. We all shiver in memory, yes. Had a bad roll session today, but that stuff happens. It do. No, Aaron, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really watch the other FGO content creators for various reasons. One is I'm just busy. The other is, in general, it's like both not a good idea for me to content wise, and also like I don't know. Like I feel like it's like every day now that like somebody comes in here and mentions another content creator, and I'm not really sure what it is. It's either like the person is somewhat obsessed with the content creator and that's why they're like trying to constantly name drop them, or they're trying to like get a reaction and or rise out of me, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't care. Other content creators can do what they want. Like, I'm vaguely aware of like the things that other content creators do, but that's through like other channels and stuff like that. I don't actually go sit down and watch most of them. And again, it's nothing like, oh, I hate them all or anything like that. I had a bad roll session today, but that stuff happens. It always does. You never know when it can strike. Because they want you to pity more. No, I mean, like, FGO doesn't actually, like, mess with the pity unless you're talking about, like, other gacha games, right? Other gacha games do. But, yeah, I mean, that's... Other gacha games put pity low, but you almost always go to pity. And that's a pity. My own rolls today resulted in 2 times Kuku, 1 time Sanzang, 1 time Achilles, and 3 times Tlaloc. I mean, the fact that like you got all of those SSRs and only 3 Tlalocs is, yeah, that's nuts. All right, chat, I'm going to do one more run here, and then we will start the rolls. I'm obsessed with 2D women, which is clearly much more healthier. I mean, no, look. Being a fan of a content creator is not a problem. I don't have any issue with that. And I also understand a lot of the times, like, people come in to, like, name drop it because they're just excited. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There are times where, like, I have had people, like, really actually, like, push. And I'm like, please don't push, guys. Like just be kind. Be respectful. Like... That's the only reason why I bring it up, because every once in a while I do have to say that. I got 3 K-scopes in the process. Nice. Also, chat, don't forget, we did get the 2025 banner review video out today on YouTube. Go check that out if you guys haven't already. I don't know if any of the mods have updated the YouTube command for me to add it, but please do if you can. Again, appreciate all the views you guys give me. Brandon, thank you for the 62. And also, Jeezy, I don't think I said it, but thank you for the 2 years. Hope you're doing well, and good luck with the Kuku rolls. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's one thing if like a streamer is like talking about it, right? I think that's perfectly fine. But in general, it's just considered like yeah, good manners and stuff to not like bring up the other content creators. Because, and I'll say this, it's especially, I think it has especially been bad in the FGO community over the years, where it gets like almost suffocating to the point of like, as a content creator, you feel like you're not allowed to have an opinion because some other bigger content creator has an opinion, and like it gets pushed on you, like almost like secondhand. Like I can't tell you how many times over the years I've had somebody come into stream when I'm like talking about something, and they're like, "Oh, this is like you're saying the opposite of this other person," or like, "Oh, he's going after this person." I'm like, "No, I'm not, guys. I'm like stating this stuff like in my own capacity on my own stream." So it's really, really funny. But yeah, like, and it has been interesting because I've also seen where like people, like I mentioned, like, oh, they're trying to get a rise or a reaction out of you. Where like I've had people come in and like ask me what my take is on something that someone else said. And very rarely do I ever answer a question about that sort of stuff, but I have done it once or twice. And the like handful of times that I can remember I've done it, I've almost always done it not as like a way of like somehow like correcting the statement that the content creator made, but instead as like almost calling out the person that asked me that and pointing out to them, it's like, yeah, you're trying to think that I'm like saying something that's the opposite of this other person, or that like I'm saying I'm right and they're wrong. And the reality is you weren't understanding what they said. And like I've had to do that, unfortunately, a couple of times, which is really bad. I usually don't like to do that stuff, but there was one particularly big moment that I still remember even to this day, where people were just really not understanding something that somebody else said, and they were assuming that I was basically like proving them wrong, and I'm like, no, I'm actually proving them right. You're not understanding the nature of their statement. Social media brain rot. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Like it's everybody's used to like drama and like call out culture and cancel culture now, and it's just like, dude, I fucking hate that shit. God forbid you have your own unique opinion. Yes. And that's why I've tried to tell people, like, if everybody ever wonders why, like, you know, like, oh, like my community seemingly is like locked down about this stuff, I've learned over the years it's a good thing to do. It's like quite literally, I can tell you, you know, any number of times where like I've had someone come in and like I said earlier, like basically say like, oh, you're saying this, but this other person said this and you're wrong. And I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you know they're not wrong? How do you know I'm the one that's wrong? You don't know usually. It's a trust issue, and a lot of people are gonna like trust the content creators that they favor, and that's fine. I don't have any issue with that. It's just one of those deals where, like I've said, it's like, hey, if you want to talk about like this content creator, go over to their community and talk about them there. And it's perfectly fine if you're in multiple communities. Just like don't bring that shit over here too. Because it gets suffocating. You get to the point where you're just like, oh, okay, I'm just not allowed to have a community myself. I watched your banner video today. Thank you, Field. Appreciate it. Really appreciate your insights into the new servant as a returning player. Good. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I honestly, like, my YouTube's not been doing too good of late. I think part of that's because like I'm doing all of my recording live nowadays. But the other part of that is just like, I think there's multiple factors. I think I'm recording live. I think it's the fact that my live streams were hurting my channel's algorithm, so now I have to like recover the algorithm. And when I say algorithm, I mean like the performance of the videos, because YouTube bases its recommendations for videos based off of how well other videos of that type that you've already made trended. And so if it sees that like, oh, well, your past videos haven't trended that good, it literally just doesn't recommend your video to other people. So I guess like one of the things you guys can do to help me is, one, watch the video, two, make comments, like it, all that stuff, and heck, send it to your friends. Because like, yeah, I'm at this point, I'm gonna need all the help I can get, because like I shit you not. I think I looked at the banner review video and like my banner review videos for the prior years had thousands of views. Like we're talking like tens of thousands at this point. And my banner review video for like so far for this first one, like dude, it was like under like 500 views. So it is what it is. But like it's getting to the point where I either have to like recover it or it's just not even worth doing it. And I hate that because I don't want to think that way. But it's like, dude, when you spend like hours of time trying to do something and then it gets like nobody to watch it, that's so like soul crushing. And I completely understand it from the like early days of getting my channel started. It's just like, man, I don't want to go through that again. So it sucks. It's rough. After Kuku's second banner, she doesn't return for 19 months. She's tied with Oberon for the longest time without a banner. Well, no, but like maybe like within recent memory, tied for the longest time without a banner. Sure, maybe, but yeah, that's definitely not the record or even close to it. Is it possible for NA to get an exclusive banner featuring her? It's possible. Like you could see something at like Thanksgiving or something, but I would never guarantee that sort of thing. Did I ever play Stellar Blade? I started it. I got a little bit into it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, just gameplay wise. Like, I don't think it's a bad game or anything like that. I just felt like it to me, it felt a little clunky compared to some of the other games that I've played like it. Like, for instance, I've played Nier Automata, and Nier Automata, I like absolutely adjusted to easily. I enjoyed the whole experience and had a blast with it. Whereas like Stellar Blade to me like felt more clunky than Nier Automata. But I mean, maybe that's just me looking into it too much. I also like it came out at a time when I had like just a crap ton of stuff to do. And that's usually what happens to me. If I don't finish a game, it's usually because like either FGO pulls me off of it or I end up like getting distracted by literally yet another game. Thanks for the luck with Kuku luck. Nice. How do you go with copyright? I used to do YouTube stuff, but I was haunted by copyright claims after years after any uploads. Yeah, that's still a thing, and it fucking sucks. One, don't use music in your videos, and that's terrible. Like, I love using music in my videos, but I've begun to learn even the DMCA free stuff, due to the way that YouTube runs its like system, doesn't work. Because a lot of DMCA free stuff, they'll go like, hey, use this for your video. Like, we won't claim you, we promise. That's fine. But what ends up happening is some sort of third party ends up uploading the exact same video. And then they copyright it so that they can claim everybody else's videos that use the DMCA free video. So like everybody that like used that song or whatever in their stuff, they upload an exact version of it, claim it themselves, and then they try to steal all the credit. And it's so fucking awful. I hate it. It's one of the worst things, and I cannot believe that YouTube has not done more to prevent it. Competition with other FGO videos. Like I said, I think a lot of it is just like, I do think the FGO like fandom is shrinking over time. Just again, as the game is aging and the devs have not done a whole lot to turn the game around. I'm not saying this to be doomer chat. I'm saying this because I know someone in chat's going to be like, Cad's thinking doomer thoughts again. Literally, I'm not saying it to be doomer. I'm just stating it as a like a fact, a like realistic thing that I just have to deal with. The FGO community over time is shrinking. It is not growing. And there are many reasons for that. But that on top of, like I said, like I think it was my mistake to do live streams on the same channel. That's on me. Like nobody else. And so I think like those two factors alone account for a lot of problems, alongside the fact that like a lot of people can just go watch me as I'm recording it and then not have to like watch the actual video. So like most of that's self-inflicted wounds. And that's why I was just being like, hey, yeah, if people can help me, like if you're one of those people where it's like, oh well, I just watched him do it live, so I don't need to watch the video. At least go like do me a favor when I post the video, like open it up for me and let it run. That helps. So it is what it is. How can that be legal? It's not. It's literally it's you have to like swear under penalty of perjury that the item that you're claiming for like yourself is your copyright. So it's literally like people perjuring themselves and committing fraud if they falsely claim something under the DMCA law. But yeah, it's scummy AF. Let's use TikTok. Bro, at this point, like, I don't know, maybe I should just resolve myself to the fact that TikTok will be around, because it sounds like neither Biden nor Trump, and I don't want to get into politics chat, but like neither of them are going to enforce the TikTok ban. So it seems like TikTok's just going to be around, at least in some capacity. We'll see what it is. But that's a, like, I don't know, right? All my friends that played FGO don't play anymore, but none of them liked reading the story, which is what hooked me the most about the game. Yeah, and I think it's like, so it's the same thing when you go like, hey, where should I get into Fate? And some people will tell you like the various different animes. Other people will be like, no, those people are stupid. Start with the visual novel. And I have to turn around and I have to say, though, that second group doesn't get it. They don't get it. And the reason why is because some people will never read a visual novel, no matter what you do. I do agree, theoretically, the visual novel is the best place to start. But you can't force someone to do it. So there's certain people where you have to go like, oh, this person's not going to ever read a visual novel. I need to just recommend them an anime if I want them to like the same IP as me. And that's where you just go like, okay. And again, like that's just being realistic about it. What is your preferred medium? Is my first question. Yeah, that's like a better question to start with more than anything. But it's very similar on this end. Is like some people are just never gonna like a visual novel style gacha game. Some people are never going to like a turn-based strategy style gacha game. And so as a result, like it just is what it is. Like it's why some people just look at like FGO and they're like, oh, it's got old gameplay, and it's like, yeah, you know, so does chess. Like chat, when are we getting chess 2? Right? Like chess hasn't had an update in like millennia. So like when are we gonna get another update to chess? Finally, like revolutionizing the gameplay. And it's like turn-based and card-based games have been around for as long as chess. They are always going to be fun and enjoyable, no matter what. Chess 2, the sequel? No. Yeah, I mean, I meme because I have heard that there are things like this. There's also like 3D chess and 4D chess and stuff like that, which is just wild. I think part 3 needs to be a pseudo restart. That's what I've been saying. You guys know I've been the proponent of that for a while now. I probably should like turn that into a proper video, but it is what it is. Okay, chat. So we're gonna roll for Kuku. We're gonna go Kuku for Kuku Puffs. This is gonna be NP5 rolls. I'm gonna probably regret this, but it is what it is. Actually, let me see if there are anything in the Mana Prism shop that I need to get. Nope. Anything over here that I need to get? Nope. It's filtered out to not include any of the experience, because that's basically what my entire mailbox is. The time has come, and so have I. Okay. You guys can see we already did the thing there. We already did the La Single. So we are starting out just with actual rolls. Don't do it, Cad. I have to. I almost hit pity, but now I can max Tlaloc. Yeah. But yeah, I do think like FGO, as it heads towards its third part, the third part really needs to change the branding of the game. It needs to be some sort of soft reset, because if they allow a soft reset, it actually does solve a lot of the game's age issues. The only problem, and I do think this is like, because someone brought this up the other day, and I completely agree with it, is like this idea of, okay, so if you do part 3 and part 3 comes out and now it doesn't have to like you don't have to have done part 1 or part 2 to start with part 3, then it needs to be entry level accessible, which means it probably needs to be like low level at first. But I think like they can ramp things up level wise way faster in part 3. Like you don't need like 7 singularities finally to get to like max level content. They can literally do it where like I shit you not, in like literally 1 singularity you could make max level content, because of the way the game works nowadays. The speed at which you acquire master levels, the speed at which you acquire materials via various things like pure prisms and stuff, and the speed at which you can get access to high level embers, you could very quickly level up your units. And so to me, it's not as big of a deal to like make it where you couldn't go like, okay, already by like the second singularity, we're at like max level content again. So that would be a really like fast entry point for people. Do I have a catalyst? I love Birdie the Mighty. But besides that, no. Writer. Oh, it's the big gay. Hello, Astolfo. Where we discover the Ritska becomes the enemy of humanity and new masters need to defeat, redeem them. Yeah. I mean, like, again, like, I think everybody talks about, like, FGO2 and stuff nowadays as if it's, like, a guaranteed thing. It's not. And I'm going to tell you, like, right now, if they come out with a part 3, don't expect an FGO2 anytime soon. Nor really even should you expect an FGO2 altogether. I think that has less odds of happening than likelihood of happening, if that makes any sense. Like I think quite literally you have greater odds of it not happening. I wish to sacrifice Jay. No. I need all of my support. Talk and drinking and corn for Kuku. I mean, we can do all of those things. Part 3 equals 12 more years of FGO1. I mean, you know, and this is the thing. You guys have been reading along 7 with me as well. I'm not going to get spoiler here for anybody that's like watching after the fact, but like they do at least like bring up this concept of like the Grand Order again, like a concept that's always been there, but like it's rarely mentioned, that like we are on a Grand Order. And I've had people ask me like, oh, you know, like when Nasu says like the story is going to come to an end, it's like, it's very easy to like imagine a world in which we get a part 3, but the game is no longer called Fate Grand Order because the Grand Order ended. So it's like, basically what Nasu said wasn't a lie, but the game still is able to carry on and still have more story. Fate Small Order? I mean, you could name it any number of things, right? Like, memes about the name aside, they can go with whatever the heck they want. No nuclear material for Catalyst? No. Also, chat, be careful. Again, no spoilers. Remember, I'm not done with 7. How long do you think Nasu has actually planned out the plot? I think originally the plot was planned out actually through all of part 2. At least to some degree. We know he had all of part 1 planned. I've talked to people before. There are some people out there, I think, that don't think that he planned all of part 2. But I do think it was. I think they had at least a rough framework for how the game was going to go. because there's too many like interconnected details between the two parts, which shows that it was kind of intelligent design. Like they purposefully did it this way. No faux hat. I usually save faux hat for like live streams, but we can put it on if you guys want. Fate sus order, yes. I don't get the concept of getting rid of Ritsuka. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, we need to like get rid of Mash, or we need to get rid of the protagonist, like we need to change them. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like even if you look at something like Girls Frontline 2, the protagonist is older in the second game, but it's still the same protagonist. Like they kept going with it. And I think that's actually really good and smart. You want that continuity because it's easy, chat. Like, how do you get people to like a new character? Well, for starters, it's really easy when they already liked the character. That is to say, you just reuse an existing character. Make it so every player is a different master instead of pro tag. I mean, that's something they could do. But yeah, like I kind of agree. Like, I don't agree with getting rid of the original protagonist. Because it also, I'm gonna be honest with you, unless that character gets to like walk off into the sunset and like live out the rest of their life normally, that is such a shit story from the protagonist's perspective. They go on this epic journey that like goes batshit insane for like 2 to 4 years, and then they just die. It's like, no, I don't want the protagonist to die. Like, they deserve more than that for saving the world, not once, but twice. About Kadok as the MC? No, I would hate that. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say if Kadok was the MC, I might stop playing the game. Because I don't fucking like Kadok as a character. They get to die and reincarnate in the Servantverse? Yeah. Damn, shots fired. Listen, you ask questions, you're going to get an answer, whether you like it or not. Like I don't hate. Oh my god. It's spooking me even here on NA. I don't hate Kadok, but I don't like Kadok, mostly due to like his attitude and his outlook on things. He's getting better over time. I will give him that. Like, he's actually having some character progression, but I still don't want him to be the protagonist. I have too many like bad impressions of him. Yeah, he's great as a supporting character. If you make him the protagonist, I'm out. Kadok is a realist? I don't think he is. Because I think like there's some amount of realism where you have to realize there's no hope and you're doomed. And at that point, you need to suspend, like, you're thinking too much with your brain. You're being too much of a realist. You're forgetting to be human, right? Like if everything is just cold logic and reason, then you never have any room for emotion. Usually, you need both. You need both reason and emotion to actually be able to like be a complete human. So it's like, I can't argue he doesn't have like rationale to what he does. He's not a realist. But I can argue that if we're going to go down that route, he's too much of one. Because he just gives up too damn easy. He's starting to learn. Like in the story, he's starting to believe. But it feels like this is after a life of him just being defeatist the entire time. Almost like Ren and Stay Night? Oh, don't say that. With relatively useless abilities, he'd be kind of boring to follow unless he changes. Yeah. Was that seal designates the protagonist and you get frozen in carbonite for a long time till Mash recognizes you? No, see, like, I've talked about this before, but that's actually one of the like best things they could do for part 3. Not to get rid of the protagonist, but instead to be like, hey, we're gonna try to seal designate you and be like, you're a threat to humanity now. You have literally like you are literally in control of the most powerful force humankind has ever known. You've saved the world twice. How do we know you won't try to become a dictator? And like then they just play this whole line of like, yeah, we need to seal designate and force the main character. And so you have to like go on the run. And you actually have to like become like a guerrilla mage in effect. And I think that would actually be a really interesting story. And we get to explore a lot of stuff. Like, for instance, something that FGO really does not explore at all, that is a main proponent in just about like every other Fate IP, is the church. The church usually plays a major role in things, and the church plays like no role in FGO. So like, that would be one way of kind of bringing that in. Hiding throughout the timeline? Yeah. Yeah, you can do a lot of like really cool and interesting stuff. What a good way to make them become an enemy of humanity? Yeah, to an extent, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like there's still some cool ideas left. They don't have to just end the story if they don't want to. But I think, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this, if the game were to somehow end at part 2, then rest assured it would not be because they couldn't come up with anything else to do. It would be because they just wanted to be done, right? I much prefer that they get wiped the fuck out in FGO so they can actually tackle more interesting concepts than typical dumbass mages. No, I mean, I think that's one of the things I actually like about them being there, is that they act, the Mage Association effectively acts as an antagonist. So it actually does like provide suspense and drama there. The church is just as scary and fucked as the clock tower. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that explored a little bit more. That's what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yep. Where in the world is Ritsuka Fujimaru? See, and I feel like that'd actually be interesting. Especially if, like, we had to, like, set up some sort of, like, alternate organization on our own end. Like, basically Shadow Chaldea, right? Like, that would actually be pretty cool, I feel like. And, like, you could actually... Chat, you could go so far as to, like, oh, man, now we have to have, like... I don't know, like almost like a base in like base building mechanics or something. So like they could use that as a mechanism by which to expand the game. And I'm not saying it has to be something like that. Just like a part 3 has a lot of potential for possibility, but it really just boils down to what the developers and writers want to do and what they kind of had the capability and time to do as well. Also, yeah, I was gonna say, is anyone keeping track? Thank you, Torak. Yeah, all we've gotten is the Stolf. Part 1 deals with the past, part 2 deals with the present, part 3 will be the future. Maybe. I the only thing I know for sure is they have gone on the record of saying like, yeah, we're done with space after this. Because, like, you guys can see, and again, not to get spoilery, but, like, there's a lot of, like, space concepts in like, Lost Belt and onward. And I think, like, Nasu's kind of sick of that type of story now, and he wants to move on with it, which, boy, Nasu, if you think you're sick of it, holy shit. We've been trapped in it for 7 years now. Actually, longer, but... I'd like to see these characters grow into adulthood and see as they develop as adults. Yeah, I mean, that's partly the, like, shonen trope of, like, hey, you know, like, we have a young everyman type of character that, like, all of the youth can associate with. Oh, gold orbs. Pretenders, that could be Tlaloc? Yes, okay. Unfortunately, we already have NP5 Tlaloc from the first banner, but more coins, I guess. I hope they don't keep the turn-based gameplay style. I hope they do. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm okay with like Fate not having a turn-based game, but that needs to be a separate game from FGO. You cannot convert this game into something that like it hasn't been for 10 years. Like, at this point, you can add new features, you can add new mechanics, but you can't change the base gameplay, or you will probably risk losing a good chunk of the population of the game. I mean, some people would probably prefer it. Other people, though, would get pissed off. I'd like some live 2D stuff for part 3. Yeah. That heroes, aliens, robots, and anything that seems cool. Look, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Can you tell me a gacha game that isn't doing that right now? Because I feel like some of you would be like, well, yes, of course and then you're immediately going to start thinking, and the more you start thinking, the more you're going to realize that they all actually do this. Genshin absolutely does this. Come on, guys. Try harder. like that's what I'm trying to say. Is like that to a degree, everything does this. It is a shonen trope, I agree, but they all do it. Woowa? Yeah, okay, re-examine what you said. ZZZ, same thing. Come on, guys. FGO being turn-based is part of what keeps me playing it. Yeah. And like I said, I think it's like it's okay to have like a more action-oriented game, but you can't do that to FGO. You have to, at that point, create a new game. Reverse 1999, maybe? Wait, you mean the game that literally makes references to Chaldea? Do what again? Just using the very common tropes of like popular things for shonen. Like, again, like aliens, robots, you name it, right? So like they're all doing it because they're all chasing that same demographic. Like I said, chat keeps throwing out like every gacha game under the sun, but they're all guilty of it. Shonen has everything though? Yes. By nature. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sure that's a fair criticism of the game. To say like, oh well, it's just doing all this like other popular stuff. It's like, yes, everything else is too. FIFA? Ah, yes. FIFA, the true gacha game. I saw like, so there was news today that apparently Dragon Age Veilguard didn't hit its like sales expectations by like 50%. Like they way undersold the game. And in that news, we also apparently got news that like apparently the big reason like EA's struggling right now is the like FIFA's just not doing as good. And it's like, well, although it's not called FIFA anymore, chat. It's like FC or whatever it is. Two minutes of ads in my face? Oh, it's all good. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah, I mean, I don't care, right? Like League of Legends became a gacha game. I heard that like they've changed how they're doing like the shop in League. And I guess like Overwatch just had their mid-season patch and added also like a another like version of their shop where they recommend skins for you on discount based off what you're playing. Which I'm going to say, like, okay, at least that's a way to, like, get stuff on the cheap, but really all it is just a mechanism for them to sell more skins. And that's all they're trying to do with it. Like, these live service games are just so hard up for money right now. Didn't they lose the FIFA license? Yeah. I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't give two shits about whether or not it's like FIFA licensed or not. I would just care if it's a good soccer game. Mr. Czar, thank you for the 66. Chat, can we get some love for Czar's 5.5 years? Appreciate it, my dude. Overwatch needs to watch a Marvel Rivals around now. I mean, Marvel Rivals is going to have its own set of struggles, I think. Like, it'll remain to be seen because apparently, like, Rivals having some issues with like cheaters and stuff now, and that's just always going to be a thing in like a free to play shooter game, so it's like expected. But I do think like long term the biggest issue that Rivals is going to face is balance, because the projected like rate that they want to add new characters in is like absolutely lightning fast compared to like how Overwatch did it. So at that point, I think like balance is going to be their chief problem. Like they need to keep the game at least relatively balanced. I'm not going to say you can't have like broken characters and stuff that are like shit's cracked, because at least I think the one thing I really like about Rivals so far is it still feels like there's just a counterplay to everything. Like for instance, we got beat by a six healer comp the other day, and it's like, okay, you get beat by 6 healers. Well, what was the solution to that? Well, for starters, maybe run more like one-shot damage dealing ultimates, and then there you go. You don't have to like suffer through their healing and stuff. And there's various other things that can be done. So I feel like at least at that part, the game is broad enough and diverse enough already with all the units that they have that even if something is broken, you can outplay it, you can counter it. But yeah, I think balance in the general thing is going to be its long-term issue. Cheaters in online games are so lame. Yeah, I don't really get it, right? Yep, another Tlaloc. Okay, wow. So rolls are relatively light at this point. But we'll see. We're not too deep in yet. Has whole optimization issues now that have not been addressed. Actually, some of them did just get addressed with the patch that came out like yesterday or something, I think. Jeff dies all the time with the enemy entire team. Yep. You generally can't heal head explosion. True. The legendary all-white mage team. Yeah. What's the goal for Kuku again? 5. 5. Hopefully luck will turn to better. It's like I said, we're not that deep. We're only like 270 quarts in. Extra class can't be double-sided sparks, right? No, they can. Okay, what was the damage from the last banner? Like from Tez? I think Tez was like 540 or 570 for 2 copies, so that was perfectly fine. We're taking bets on how long the first copy would take? Yes. Chat usually does. Anyone know what the best node for farming solar hides is? I do not know. I'll tell you, normally you can like, I think it's exclamation point drops. Should give you the drop sheet. And it should be listed in there. No, extra class don't do Spark. Yes, extra class do Spark. Take it from me, chat. I've seen it. Chat is gambling addicts. That's why we play gacha games. Yeah, I do think that's a thing to an extent, right? Like, and it's weird because I think like in that regard, I'm not your typical gacha gamer. I'm not gonna say like I'm not like the rest of you. You're not like me. Just in the sense that like I imagine most people here do enjoy like the thrill and gambling from gacha games. For me, like I don't really care. It's one of those deals where I don't go like, oh boy, I get to roll from the sense of like I'm addicted to the gacha and I love gambling. I go, oh boy, I get to roll from like a content creator standpoint. more so than anything, right? Like that's where it is for me in that regard. Yeah, just second farming more free quests for the initial course. Unless the capture card does not want to work. Okay, there we go. Man, that sucker's slow sometimes. Oh, Birdie the Mighty. Say goodbye, hello. Kurikaisu. There you go, chat. Without even hearing. Cad, show us your free farming Sankort secret now. No, it's a secret. If I told you, it wouldn't be a secret anymore. He didn't notice the first two I had put in the queue. I probably didn't. I'm sorry. I like the thrill a little bit, but it's all about the results. Oh boy, I want the character there available, time to roll. Yeah, I will say this. In that regard, I feel like FGO is one of the best games for its rolling experience. Unfortunately, that absolutely feeds the gambling side of it, but like I really do love how like variant FGO rolls are. It is something that to me does make it more fun. It's just like I said, like I don't go like, oh man, I can't wait to roll again in a gacha game. Like that's not really what does it for me. Cad, the most helpful non-helpful streamer, helps with stuff in the game besides his secret free quest farming. Exactly. I can't tell you how to do that one because then I would give away my secret. And if I give away my secret, then everyone will know how to do it. And then I won't have this advantage. But I'll give you a hint, chat. I'll give you a hint. It involves getting a job. I really like FGO's gacha summon animation. Yeah. I really hate rolling in Hoyo games. Fake outs are needed. I mean, it was Side who came in here the other day and said like he had what like 350 rolls in Genshin, I think, and like lost every single 50-50. It's like, bro, that just sounds fucking miserable. Like, especially for a game that's designed for you to go to pity. He'll go broke because we'll have his details. That's true. A job? No way. Yeah. Yahweh. And only rolls for what he likes. Exactly. They made it so you can't lose more than 3 50-50s back to back? Oh. Is that because, like, you just run out of money? When the servers are slated to close 100 years from now, will you reveal your secret farming? Yes, I'll reveal my secret farming technique after the servers close. What's worse, losing multiple 50-50s or consecutive pities in FGO? I don't know. I guess that really depends. Like, I think it depends on, like, how much of it was done, like, free to play, right? Like if you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, I saved up all of this in like both games free to play, I'd argue that it's actually worse in like Genshin or something, because again, you don't get as much of the currency for free. So if you did save for that, you probably saved for longer, but I couldn't tell you honestly. I mean, I'm from ever feeling good during a rolling session. Yeah, I get that. It's the same way like chat's remarked before, it's like, I can't believe this man just got like an SSR and didn't react. And it's like, I don't know. Do you know how many SSRs I've seen at this point? I'm dead inside. Like I still react when I get an SSR, usually, right? But no, in general, like things like craft essences don't usually get me like excited. Things like an SR doesn't usually get me excited. But that's again just due to like the status of my account and how much rolling I have done on it. But it's also like, again, I have perspective. I've been around from when the times were not as good, when we didn't have as high of rates, when we did not have again like a pity system or anything like that. And so yeah, I understand how bad rolls can be. Like far more so than like the people playing FGO nowadays, right? Hitting pity doesn't mean you get spooked in FGO. You could get spooked twice and still hit pity. Yeah. You were supposed to get under average? Well, you see, that's just it. That's my secret. Don't do what anyone expects you to. Double-sided. And it's a book. They're telling me to go read chat. Oh. Do you not have Giga Chad Super Ryan? Of course I do. But do you think Super Ryan and Foreigner here are the same? There you go, chat. Copy number 1. We didn't go to pity. Feels good. That's not too bad. It just came right after the like 300 group wanted it to. It's perfect. Oh my god, Aurelia's going like crazy. There's Kuku Kachu. Yes. Hello, Prophet. Thank you for the 62. Thank you for stopping by. You having a free moment from work? Alas, my points, indeed. But we all doubted in the gacha? Oh no, not everyone did. You know, clearly some people lost points. Here, let's turn it on. Chat, the catalyst worked. Don't sweat the small stuff. I love Kuku. She's a great character. I see chat is discovering the squirt. All right, back in. Now for NP2. Cad, the best fighting game characters are Jin Akuma. I mean, when you say it that way, it sounds like the same name. Like it sounds like a character named Jin Akuma. But I know that like Jin and Akuma are two separate characters. Also, Ern is the biggest doubter of them all. You see, but is Ern actually a big doubter, or is Ern just playing the averages? It's all about statistics, chat. Maybe Ern has tracked all of my rolls and he knew the likelihood of this occurrence. How many Kukus are you going for? How do I say this? All of them? He does spreadsheets, so maybe indeed. Can't argue with 4-1 odds on a 50-50 chance. So basically, Ern was just playing the pot. He saw just how much there was to gain. And he went all in. Chat, read the title, Challenge Impossible. It's a thing. Listen, I have learned to expect nothing from my chat, and therefore I can never be disappointed by you guys. Their third ascension reaction to Ember feeding is priceless. Had to see it on another stream. Since I'm also not at LB7 conclusion either. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get it done. I'm slow right now finishing LB7 chat, but I am enjoying it so much. I'm just like, I'm soaking it all in. I'm taking my time with it, and I'm just having a blast. And I hope you guys are enjoying like reading alongside and the discussions that we're having with it too, because it's actually been really fun. Is it because you're a Birdie the Mighty fan? I don't know, but like I do find it appropriate that she showed up during Hearts Grow. So like that is a like very, very good catalyst for that. Because I actually do think like that is part of her design, like where it's from. I think they were inspired by Birdie. Better to savor it. Once it's done, we can't go back. Yeah, you only get like one first time, right? How far are you in LB7? I think I'm chapter 16. To be fair, those early chapters are a lot of story. Like, it's a lot of reading. Which Birdie the Mighty, original or remake? Wait, was there a remake? Yeah, Tetsuan Birdie. Oh, I didn't realize the manga's actually from the 80s. Actually makes a little bit more sense. It looks like it just had an OVA. Which I don't think I watched the original OVA. I don't think. Decode is the actual like first anime. Evolution is the sequel to it. OG Birdie was an OVA, yeah. Yeah, I can't really call that a remake at that point, right? Because like, if all it was before was like an OVA, it's like, chat, would you say that would you say that like UBW is a remake? Because like we had an original UBW before the series, which was a movie. So it's like I can't really call that a remake either, right? It's just a different format, basically. Oh, time to go farm some more. Star Wars Special was the original Star Wars? Oh no. Can Galahad be summoned? Is summonable even though Mash has his set? We don't really know. There's like other issues at play with Galahad, like lore wise, for like why he might potentially not be summonable. I have a dusty VHS tape with a Birdie the Mighty fan sub on it somewhere. Probably next to Fast Food Freedom Fighters. Jesus. By the way, did the devs forget to add the new mats to the Pure Prism shop, or is that on purpose? You don't get them until like the 28th. It's on purpose. His Ultra might pop up if Requiem ever picks up again. Yeah, like I think like that sort of stuff is like, especially with regards to the Knights of the Round, there's still a couple of Knights of the Round that we don't have, and we'll just see if we ever do get them. I kind of hope we do. I gotta be honest, in that regard, like I'm kind of sad what they did with LB6 because of the like potential lost there. They had so much more potential to cover like more of the Knights of the Round, and they didn't. They kind of just like spun it and did like a completely different thing with it, which is, I think it's fine and it's in and of itself, but like I do feel like at this point I could still stand yet another Camelot-esque singularity because we've never had actual Camelot. Like we've had, hey, this is something that we turned in to discount Camelot, and then we've had, hey, yeah, this is Camelot in name only, but it's actually Fairy Town. Like, so I don't really know, but I would prefer to actually see actual Camelot at some point. Like the Green Knights. I mean, technically the Green Knights are in LV6. Technically. It's actually one of the very few references that was there. We didn't even get actual Gareth and Percival. Yeah. I mean, we kind of got their world's version of it, right? Camelot from the Servant verse. I mean, I would also like to see something like that. I've said this before, I will say it again. I would love to see more Servant verse, like actually set in the Servant verse. Because I feel like the closest we've ever really gotten to that was Saber Wars 2. And that wasn't really enough because we just went like planet hopping in that. I want to see like the actual like governmental structures and stuff. I want to see like, because like supposedly in the Servant verse, Gil is the emperor, and it's like, dude, I want to see that. That sounds badass. I want to see like dark evil Gil. Redrops Saber Wars 3 art was sick, yeah. Transformers The Last Knight, King Arthur. Listen, at that point, just go all the way to like Sonic, where Sonic is actually King Arthur. God Emperor of Gilkind, yes. I'd pay so much for an adaptation of Morte d'Arthur where Mordred and Arturia have an epic final battle. Yeah, it's like, it's sad, but at the end of the day, we got so fucking robbed by Garden of Avalon. Like I love the CD Garden of Avalon. I love the light novel Garden of Avalon, but that could have been an actual chapter in the game. So we just ended up like not getting to see a lot of it. We don't have the visual side of it. I would also like to just see them adapted into like a manga. I feel like it'd be an amazing manga, actually. They should absolutely do that. Because you could do all like Like, God, they should have done that for like the 15th anniversary. They could have actually like made it into a manga, like, and done like special artwork for it, serialized it, and sold it, like, and it would have made a shit ton of money. If Black Knight Sonic came into FGO and he had the Saberface trait, would you 120 him? Yes. But only because of that second reason. How many copies of Kuku have I gotten? Un Kuku. Yeah, I mean, Amaterasu, I wouldn't mind seeing that sort of stuff explored. In fact, I don't have to get spoiler on the JP event, but there is some like ancient Japanese ties to things in that event. So who knows? Maybe we'll segue into that one day. Oh, let's go! Second copy already. Okay, now we're doing great. Rolls were a little bit dry there at first. Ah, another Prisma Cosmos. Please show up on my JP instead. All right, chat. How much you want to bet we get a Black Grail tonight? What is the worst spook you ever had? Does it have to be one? Because I've had some pretty shit spooks over the years. Like, I'm not sure I can say that like there's one that's like the worst. There's definitely a streak of them that's the worst. That's where I went 5 for 12. I still haven't gotten a copy, Sag. I just need one more on my JP. But that's why I'm mauled at this point whenever I see Black Grail on my NA account. It's like the game just knows and it purposely does it to me to taunt me. With Ruler Morgan, Sir K, and Agravain. Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, a lot of the lore proposed to you, like in the beginning of LB6, I have major issue with, because it doesn't necessarily jive with a lot of the other things. Like, quite literally, Morgan shouldn't be a ruler, both by definition of the ruler class, and by definition of, like, her background as an actual caster. So, like, it's really weird to me that they decided to make her, like I would prefer to see Caster Morgan. And I don't mean Ask. Like, I would actually prefer to see that. Because that would be, like, freaking amazing. And, like, here's how you do it, chat. You make it Caster Morgan, and then you make her a 5-star, and you make her single target, like, arts or something. And, like, good lord, that would be a strong fucking unit. Okay? I know what'll get Kuku out again. Smell of the game? God damn it. You're not wrong, okay? Like, as much as I want to be angry at you for song requesting that, I can't be angry at you because it is a correct catalyst for her. Lasagna's got to be kicking themselves for making Snack Mommy an NPC. Do they? Like I do agree in the sense that, like, this is Snack Mommy is literally the most traction FGO has had in years. I'm not even kidding. Like externally, outside of the game, Snake Mommy is the most traction this game has had in years. And I think the only thing that, like, could potentially have more traction at this point would be if they actually released Neko Arc. Is she that popular? Yeah, we have artists like that are non-FGO related drawing her just because they like her design. And I've also seen like several people be like, "Oh man, it's such a joy to be able to draw FGO again." And you're like, "What?" I gotta be honest, I hate when artists say shit like that because it's like there's nothing stopping you from drawing FGO, you asshole. But at the same time, it's at least like sentiment that it's like, oh, okay, FGO is trending again. Let's go. They can always make her playable, so it's still a win. Yeah, and that's exactly why. Like, do I think they're regretting it? Not really. Because at the end of the day, it's still trending, and they can always just release it again and get it to trend again. So in that regard, maybe what they did here is actually genius. My Twitter is full of arts, but I've never seen another art of it. Really? Like, dude. All right, let me just scroll on Twitter here. All right, literally, like, I scrolled not even three. Not even three, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and show this to you, chat. It's literally Kuon, 12 minutes ago, okay? This is technically not Snack Mommy, but it's Snack Mommy's outfit. So, I literally didn't have to scroll, but, like, hardly at all. I went 5 and there's porn. Which is also why I'm not scrolling live on stream, because, you know, Twitter can't be trusted. And then I went about like 20 and there's another piece. Yeah, it's like, and you got to understand, this is like days after it was trending. So I quite literally shouldn't be seeing it as often, but am. Twitter can't be, the algorithm can't be. It's more like the artists that I follow can't be trusted. If that makes any sense. If Snake Mommy gets a gacha, it would make bank. Oh, absolutely. Kuku and 50 tickets, but I just hit pity on Gil during New Year's with no 5-star. I consider this balancing the scales. Oh, it absolutely happens all the time. It probably felt good for them to be trending in a positive way for once. Yeah, they need to. And again, like, I'm going to say this, chat, but like, I think a lot of people don't understand probably how much 9th anniversary like hurt them. Right? Like, and I don't mean it's like, was it actually that big of a deal? Like, now that it got fixed? No, it wasn't that big of a deal. But publicity wise, in the public eye, I think that hurt the game. I think like them seeing every FGO player mad at the developers is not a good look for the game. In the same way that like I usually end up hearing about it every time that all the Genshin community is upset with the developers. Every time that the Zenless community is upset. Every time that the Hoyo community or the Wuwa community are upset. I end up hearing about it. Not a good look. So you just, in general, you don't want to trend that way. So Snake Mommy being a positive trend, yeah, it's a good thing. And like I said, honestly, maybe that's what they need at this point. They need to start, I'm going to say this again, sexifying some of the designs. Because they had gotten to this point where I feel like a lot of the designs were hey, this is how the character would have looked in the time, and it's like the authentic rendition of the character, rather than like, you know what if we just made FGO's take on this character and how they would look? Like, what if we did a more like anime, or like just like, again, hey, this is my own like personal idea, right? Like, they can absolutely do that, and that is the way they used to do it. But it definitely feels like of late, within the past couple years here, a lot of the designs have tried to be more authentic, more like one-to-one. And I'm like, no, they need to go back to actually doing like crazy shit with the designs, because that is what sold the game in the first place. Type, thank you for the 10 months. Bonsoir. Thank you, appreciate it. So just go crazy? Not necessarily go crazy, but I feel like they actually need to like cook a little bit more on some of these designs. Because like, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, but FGO was once described to me by other people as a game in which everybody is sexy. And, you know, I think you could argue that, but there is some truth to that statement. Like the original character designs, it really felt like they were trying to make them pretty hot. And this is also another interesting thing, because I was just talking about this with Bob actually like last week, where like if you look back at the last year on JP, a lot of the designs were sexy again. But why was that? It was the year of the collabs. So they were going back to their original like roots for all these other IPs, where in order to sell the other IP, because it was new, they had to have really like fantastic character designs. And boom, there you go. Babbage is sexy to some people. Yeah, I'm not gonna say every character was, right? Like, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like to an extent FGO at least has like tried to be a little bit more tame of late, and I feel like tame in a gacha environment is dull and boring. And like, I'm not saying this to like shit on the game, just that like that's how I believe people actually do perceive it. Like if you look at Billy, you probably just go like, eh. Like character like looks wise right there. Now, Billy's third ascension though, on the other hand, okay. But like, yeah. So they need to bring sexy back a little bit, yeah. And again, you know, I've said like this is like a nuanced argument, like because it's not like there aren't like, you know, sex appeal type characters every year in FGO. There are, literally every summer, right? But it does feel like summer had become like the actual like hey, this is the only time it's really happening type moment. They were cooking with Ku Alter. Yeah, like there's some designs where they really did cook. And I'm just going to go ahead and say Omi-san is absolutely one of those designs. They cooked with that design. They need to keep cooking. Yep. What was the last sexy character that was added to the game, in your opinion? Oh, give me 1 second. Come on, capture card. You can do it. I believe in you. There you go. Let's see. The last sexy character added to the game. And I look, I'm also going to say this. I think it depends. It depends on your taste, right? Okay, by ID. The FGO is on its 434th servant. I think there are some like sex appeal aspects to Kurohine and Bishon, but I don't think either of them is inherently like, man, they're that unit that like is gonna make people like just goon over, right? Richard, I think, could have some of that for some of the ladies. So I'm going to make an argument right now. Phantasm Moon should have been that, but wasn't. Like, Phantasm Moon is where, while I like her design and I really like her ascensions, that is a character that absolutely could have had more sex appeal. Like, you have an adult magical girl. I feel like there's a lot you can do with that. Okay. Abby, no. Lohi's third ascension, yes. Like, I see what they're trying to do with that. That's probably just a taste thing for me. Where it's like, I don't know, like weird disjointed triple hinged like limbs is kind of a nope for me. Van Gogh, no. King Tut, no. Khazra Drop, no. At least Khazra Drop better be a no. If Khazra Drop isn't a no, Hakuno, no. And then we're literally so at that point, you're now all the way back to summer. Okay? So we've already gone all the way back through and we are now at summer. So yeah, it's Double X Alter is your last like unit that like, hey, she's in a bikini, right? Like, skip summer. Okay, if we skip summer, and to be fair, like this one's kind of weird, right? Because if you're gonna tell me that I have to skip summer, that I'm also skipping Space Airish, because Space Airish literally is a summer unit, even though she is the anniversary unit. Azumi no Isora, nope. Alice, nope. Sojiro, nope. So then you go all the way back to Aoko. Aoko definitely has sex appeal. Like in the sense that they absolutely put her in like the short skirt and the like evening dress. Like, I feel like that's really what they were trying to go for. Also, the like, God, what's the name of it? Why am I forgetting? The like thigh high boots, and like pantyhose, right? Like that. Yeah, I see what they're trying to do with that. I wish they gave her the bunny suit. She transforms into it when you use some of her skills, but yeah, she doesn't have it outright. Who knows? Maybe they'll give it to her at some point. But yeah, like, so I'm not going to say there haven't been any, but it's like, yeah, literally like Kurohime and Bashone there are actually like the first two in a while if you don't count summer. But that's what I'm saying. It's like Andromeda, yeah. And then before that, it's literally Marie Alter. Then Andromeda. Then Yui. Then Ushi. So yeah, like the collab units, they actually did a pretty good job with the sex appeal on those. But again, it kind of like furthers my point that quite literally what the reason for that is because they went back to like some of those original core designs that made them famous. And so when you work based off of that, it's easy to like get the sex appeal out of those characters because they were already designed that way in the first place. But then and again, like I said, I think it's a taste thing. I think there is like something to it because, like, for instance, you could have counted Lohi based off the third ascension and stuff like that. So I do think that that it's not like the game is devoid of it, but it does feel like the game is playing it relatively safe. Did Cad mention Lohi? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Lohi's third ascension, I feel like can count depending on your like preference. Lohi's first two ascensions. I guess it's sex appeal to someone. I just don't want to admit that it is. I do love BB Dubai's dress. Yeah. Like I said, the summer units every year I feel like are the go-tos where you're like, okay, that's where they did it. But it's like you can go look at a lot of the old designs, Babbage excluded, unless you just really like thick thighs. And see like, yeah, a lot of the designs, it really does feel like they were almost like going after a fetish. Which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Ivan, my thick thigh king. Yes, thunder thighs, Ivan. Quite literally. Might have been an issue with the credit card companies and their crackdown on ecchi animes. I don't think so, because like there's some freaking anime, or not animes. There's some freaking games. I'm trying to go find the one. Get backstairs. You home with me, but you are with another man, yeah. Where was it? Oh no, Star Wars Outlaws is still $70. Omega lol. I ain't paying that shit, dude. Oh, what was the gacha game that was out on Steam? And it was like big booba. Big booba. Nope, none of those. I'll know it when someone says it. Is it Horizon Walker? Yeah. Okay, hold on. I have to make sure that I can show this on Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, chat. Like. And this is apparently the censored version of the game. Okay? Like, there are apparently uncensored patches you can get for that game. Winning FGO to play this was fun. That makes my back hurt, probably. Oh, another Tlaloc? Yep. At some point, it's just trying too hard and stops being appealing to me. Listen, I get it. But, like, my point being that there are games that actually do really push that, right? However, I'm also going to say this. It feels like at this point in the gacha industry, it is now no longer about which game is the funnest or best to play, because let's just be honest here. I feel like objectively speaking, most gacha games have relatively rudimentary gameplay, and if anything, they're just tedious and like time consuming. And so it's not about which gacha game is actually the best, and instead it's just about like who has the best like characters you can goon to. Feels like it's a goon off. True. It is what it is. So if I were the person directing FGO and I were saying, what does it take to get this game back to like prominence, to get people playing it again? That's exactly where I would start. Like, I'm not saying you need to like make the game like just massive Coomer bait, but I am going to say that like it would probably be a good idea to at least like do that regularly, even if it's not like an every unit type of thing. It would be like, hey, you know, we've gone, I don't know, 3 months without Gooner bait. Let's throw some more Gooner bait out there. Like, I feel like in a weird way, I could beat the pants off of most of these other gacha games from a marketing standpoint, which is kind of wild. Redrop needs to make more dojins. I mean, Redrop's probably busy at this point. What does FGO look safe even though Dojinshi artists are involved? I don't know. It's a good question. Like, I do feel like to an extent, it's kind of like, so if you guys are familiar with like the Taimanen series, apparently Taimanen is trying to go legit. And like, this has been an issue that they're having for years. They're trying to like mainstream it. And it's like, bro, you're never going to mainstream that. I'm sorry. Cause like, yeah, FGO had hentai scenes and it went legit, but those scenes were relatively tame compared to like some of the stuff that you have in some of these other IPs. So it's like, at the end of the day, I think that's what you try to see them do is like they're trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to be more tame and more appealing for mass appeal. And I don't think that's entirely wrong, right? I feel like that's going to be a little bit how you get more popularity, how you do get like more in the way of like, again, how do I put it? Like broader reach and like a bigger community, because gooners will goon to anything. And I hate to say that because like, I'm sorry, but I feel like some of the Genshin designs proved that you can kind of like keep reproducing the same thing over and over again. And like literally with every banner, people will be like, but this is the hottest unit ever to release in the game. And then the next, you know, like unit comes out and they're like, but this is the hottest unit ever to release in the game. And they like that treadmill just keeps going. So it's like, I feel like it's a pretty low bar in that sense. Whereas if you do keep the bar low, then you at least have like that broad appeal. Whereas if you raise the sex appeal, you start to like price people out, like, or not price people out, but like you start to make people like go like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with that being in the game, right? What was the game you showed earlier? Why do you need to know? It's called Horizon Walker. It's on Steam and it has an uncensored patch. Go look it up. But no, I really do feel like that's a thing, right? Like, so I think there is a happy in between. Like, and here's where I'm going to say like the happy in between lies that I've seen, because I'm gonna just be real with you and I'm going to be brutally honest right now, chat, and you're not going to like me very much for saying this, but it's probably going to be a thing. For instance, that's why like I won't really play Nikke. I don't really consider Nikke something that's safe to actually like play around literally anybody else I know without them thinking that I'm just playing porn. Okay? Part of that's because literally girls just twerking on the screen constantly. But the other part of that is, again, like, yeah, Nikke really does feel like it pushes that envelope. It's about as close as you can get without it being like NSFW. Explicitly at least. And so then at that point, like, to me, I can easily see how like there are other people out there that think like me and go like, yeah, I'm not going to play that because I have like, you know, like, I don't know, like family or friends or something that I don't want them seeing me playing that. So I think there's a line. I'd say that line, like the maximum for probably what's accessible, I would say it's probably somewhere in the like Azure Lane department. We're like, damn, bro, some of those skins. But like, it's not like the base unit is necessarily designed that way. Like Azure Lane also has that problem. Yeah, I feel like Azure Lane probably is like right on the cusp of it. Where it's like some people won't, some people will. The fact that Marvel Rivals is getting a ton of NSFW mods is hilarious. Yeah, and I think that's also it too. Like again, if you go a little bit more of the safer route, people will just mod your game. like people will goon to it even still. People will make dojins. People will like I said, it's like the Genshin effect. It's like in Genshin, like everybody is like kind of to a degree covered up. I know they've changed that now. They've gotten a little bit better with their designs, but like original Genshin was like people just obsessing over girls in tights, literally. So it's like, oh my god, what is that? Is that like skin around the ankle? Oh, like that's literally how it feels like people were reacting to things in that game. So to me, it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. People are gonna like goon to it either way. So the idea is to like find that perfect middle ground, that perfect ground where like you're getting the maximum possible like return on goon investment, but you're also getting like average one. You're also getting again like still kind of the normies playing your game. And I don't mean normie, like I'm gonna be honest, if you play a gacha game, you're not a normie, but like as close to a like normie as you can within at least like the gacha and anime spheres. Gooning is inevitable, yeah. So edging. Rivals knows damn well what they're doing with Invisible Woman. Yeah, and I'm all for it. I got no problem with it. Like, don't get me wrong. Is there stuff going on there? Yeah, absolutely. In the sense of like, of course they made her shapely on purpose, right? Like, but and here's the other thing I'm gonna say. Just because a character is shapely does not mean like it's like porn or something like that. I hate to say this because like we've seen this for years where people look at something and they go like, oh, that's porn. And you're like, you look at it, it's like it's literally just a character in a bikini, and you're like, have you never been to the fucking beach, like ever? Have you never been to a water park ever? Like, what are you, some like puritanical prude? Like, and then like you'll see the person say that, and then like they'll be off on like, I don't know, like one of their social media accounts being like, oh my god, did you see that guy? Oh, he's so hot with his chiseled abs, and like they'll start like barking at him or some shit, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like let those who basically are without sin cast the first stone, right? Like you are not worthy of being able to criticize at that point. So it's like, I do feel like there's a line. I feel like there's an argument to be made as to where the line is. And I'm going to say FGO, to me, like FGO in those early years was pretty much like peak for that. It was at that line. What we started to see is, I think we started to see the line move as like some of these other games have started to really push the boundaries. Insert I believe in true gender equality meme. I mean, look, I'm gonna say this. I feel like at this point there's almost a war on men. Like men are not allowed to like actually like look at anything attractive, and the second like there's anything attractive to like a normal straight man, it's like somehow a sin against like all of society. And it's like, dude, that's so stupid. Like, no. I hate that crap. Like, for instance, we got another pretender. Like, I can't tell you like how many times I've seen like some sort of like gay or lesbian scene nowadays in like shows and movies, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't really care. Like, I don't particularly want to see the scene myself, but it's like I don't really care. However, if you're gonna put that in, like I kind of at this point expect that there needs to be like reciprocal, like hey, then where's my like straight scene? Like if I have to stare at like dude ass like all throughout a movie, and like literally like full frontal like guy nudity, and I get to see nothing from the female, like all you get with the female is like, oh, they kissed someone. It's like, no, dude, that's I'm not sitting here watching this just for the sausage fest. Holy crap. Sex bad, but some dude getting his head blown into chunky salsa in 8K is perfectly fine. Yeah, that too, right? Like, so I think it's like society's just gotten really weird with this stuff at this point. It's like, listen, I'm all for like everybody being able to get their rocks off at that point, but like again, sex sells, but like stop trying to like oppress that just one group, because it does feel like that's what's happening. I think you're not understanding Brokeback Mountain. I'm not trying to, okay? And like, don't get me wrong. I think it's like, if it's a show or a movie that's made for that specific audience, it's perfectly fine. My issue is when they try to promote it as not that, right? Like, it's like, oh, this is a show for everybody. And then like, you just literally watch some dude getting railed by another dude for like, you know, like, I don't know, like what? Oh God, there was a show that I watched that was like that recently on Netflix, which brings me to another point, chat. I just canceled my Netflix account finally after like 7 years of having it. They increased the prices yet again, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not dealing with it. I don't care. I don't watch Netflix often enough. I can go get bent. So it's like, I'm finally done with it. But yeah, it's like, I don't really care. But when you put it out there as if the show is like, hey, this is a show for everybody, and then it's just like constantly like, I don't know, again, like two dudes or something like that. It's like, listen, I don't really care as long as there's like some hetero to balance it out. But when it's all just gay, I'm like, I'm not gay, so why do I want to watch it at that point, right? Like, I don't think that's crazy. In the same way that like like we've heard for years that like people on the other side of the spectrum there, like, yeah, well, I don't like that everything's hetero all the time. It's like, sure, I get that. I completely understand that. But it feels like we went way too far the other direction now. Joining the pirates? Listen. I have never stopped being a pirate to some extent. But like, we're at this point that like, for instance, I'll just go ahead and freely admit to this, that like, I'm not really a fan of how certain studios have conducted themselves of late, or rather certain publishers. So for instance, I'm not really a fan of how like Disney and Star Wars are conducting themselves. So yeah, there's that. Another Tlaloc. God, we are raining Tlalocs. I'm sorry for Leah, who's probably somewhere out there. Disney Plus is $9.99 with ads, which is fucking egregious. All these streaming services are so greedy. Yeah, the with ads is like, no. Like, and I saw someone be like, why don't we just go back to cable then at that point? And they're not wrong. It's like, the entire purpose of streaming was convenience, and literally to get away from ads, because that is part of the convenience of it. So if all you do is keep raising the prices and keep adding ads back, it's no different than cable. We're literally just, we had a brief hiatus where it was better, and now we're right back to the same old shitification of everything. Remember when Netflix used to come in the mail? Yes. You're not paying $60 a month for multiple channels and ads. Yep. We had to go through the trenches so if you could get all these Tlalocs, yes. But yeah, it's stupid, right? Like, I don't get it. I think something's got to change because the streaming market's way too oversaturated at this point. And it seems like Hollywood, because not as many people are going to the movies anymore, like they're not making as much money, that Hollywood has decided that they're just going to charge an arm and a leg to the streaming services, which is really interesting because apparently, like, of late here, like several movies already in like the end of 2024 and now 2025 here, like they are beginning to do a little bit better now finally. So it's like, okay, well then surely you can lower like the amount you're charging the streaming services, right? And you know they won't do that. Because greed. Because greed is eternal. Prices only go up, not down. Yep. Yep. Well, guess what? You raise my sub price, you pass it on to the consumer. Eventually the consumer goes, I don't need this. this point, streaming services should just be sending their clients monthly boxes of popcorn, right? Like, honestly, that'd actually be like a pretty cool deal where they were like, hey, here's like popcorn and like some sort of like beverage suggestion. Where they had like some sort of like alternate like movie watching like snack catering service, but like that might actually be a decent idea. Again, like someone was asking like, oh well, why do you need to pay for like the premium version of Netflix? And it's literally just for like even higher resolutions. That's it. There's no other reason. So like, quite literally, you're going to have to pay like $10 extra a month just to have a higher resolution. It's like, dude, no. And someone to come clean up my couch after the movie. Oh yeah, that too. Also to clean your bathroom after you like destroy your bathroom because you were holding it for 3 hours, right? I'm convinced that the more money you make, the less in touch with people who don't make bajillions you are. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think like there are some that do. Like for instance, like Gabe at this point, Gabe Newell that runs Steam, like that man has got to be some sort of like very rich millionaire, if not a billionaire, right? But Gabe seems to still understand. But it's also because I don't think Gabe was originally rich. I think Gabe was originally poor. And he understands where that like comes from, right? Except time allowance plans, you get 5 hours per day with no ads for $10. Dude, like, listen, you joke, but that's like the crap that people deal with their ISPs now. Is like metered connections and shit. And I'm just like, that's so ass. Like nobody should ever deal with that. We're literally trying to summon Kukulkan with this music, huh? He's working with Microsoft in the early days. Yeah. But it at least seems like Gabe understands like what it is that like is the issue, and that like the consumer is the one that literally always gets screwed by everything. And that's the truth. Like every time there is any sort of issue, any sort of increased in cost, it all goes back to the consumer. Every freaking time. Cat, what are you doing? Cat, maybe you need to reset the slot machine? I don't know. I think it's fine. I just think people are going crazy with it. Like, if people want to use all of their points, they can. Hold on. We're at 9:30 with 2 cuckoos. Okay, now we're definitely behind. We're due in for another copy if we want to keep pace. Oh no, chat. No. No. All right. I'm literally just gonna delete all of you and put you on warning. Y'all know where the tariff conversation leads, and you know about the channel's rules. Come on. Y'all know exactly what you're doing with that. I have no need to use my points if everyone else is. Exactly. Chat, y'all are mauling her. Nuke the chat? Hey, I mean, like I said, I didn't change anything. I don't know if one of the mods did. But chat seems to like enjoying literal, like, abuse of my waifu here. When the Wii U ended up being a flop shouldn't be a shocking thing. It should be a standard. I do agree with that. I think Nintendo CEOs at least do right usually by this stuff. But it is a thing. Like, and I'm not going to say like Nintendo's the perfect company, right? Like at this point, Nintendo absolutely, like, I think they try to do right by the customer, by the consumer, but when it comes to things like content creation or copyright enforcement, they are like as assholish as they possibly can be. Really needs a ban hammer for when someone gets banned. I don't really ban people. Like, I can't tell you the last person I actually did ban. It was probably a bot. Like, Nintendo has gotten worse of late. They're coasting on a lot of goodwill. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? As long as Nintendo continues to make a good product, they'll get that benefit of the doubt, though. And I know that sucks to say, but look no further than Blizzard, right? Like, Blizzard is a classic example of, as long as you keep making good games, people will let you get away with like fucking anything. But the second you stop making good games, people will shit on you. Like, it doesn't really matter, but it is the case. If Mario was my IP, I'd take care of it too. Yeah. And to be fair, like, part of like them being really like overzealous with copyright enforcement, it's partially because they have to, like, legally. Like, if they don't actually go and enforce their copyright, then it can be used against them and they can lose their copyright. Like literally someone can go like, hey, you had knowledge of this, you didn't enforce your copyright against it, so you don't get to enforce your copyright against me now. So it's really like Nintendo kind of has to do anything that they get made aware of. Which is probably also one of the reasons that they're so pissed about Pow World. Because I think they want to do something, but they can't really do something. So then they went the patent route. But the patent route was like really fucking bad. They should not have gone the patent route. Because that's going to start a war. And at least within like the gaming industry over in Japan. And I cannot fathom how that will like end up well for them, right? Not long term, at least. Short term, I don't know, man. It's probably gonna be fine. But it be what it be. Mosphere. Nintendo needs to lose that lawsuit or the Japanese gaming industry is effed. Yeah, like, and honestly, I hope they do lose it. Like, I don't hate Nintendo, but I really hope they lose that, just because I don't think that's good for the industry. Zealous enforcement of your IP is part of copyright. Yep. The Donkey Kong case with Universal's King Kong in the past. Wait, what was that? Like, I can see how like there would be some stupid thing where they would try to like claim each other, but like I don't actually know that story. Defending your copyright doesn't mean winning every fight. Yeah, you don't have to win. You just have to defend it. You literally have to make an effort, and if you made no effort, then you'll lose your copyright. Mounting, capturing with a tool are way too vague of patents. Mounting especially, you cannot tell me that Nintendo actually can like make that one. I think like capturing, even there's still like arguments to be made that it's like they were not the first ones to come up with that. But like, man, isn't patent the reason FGO doesn't have multiple skill ups? See, I've heard that claim made, but that's like, okay, so this is one of these like things that lives in the cultural zeitgeist of the community that like, oh yeah, like hey, yeah, Black Grail had a raid up at one point in time. No, Black Grail never has actually had a raid up. So it's the same thing. It's like I've seen this one thrown around for years of like, oh well, the reason FGO can't do multiple skill ups at one time is because of a like patent. I've never actually seen the patent or really seen any sort of a official source stating as such, nor have the devs, as far as I know, ever talked about it. So this to me just at the moment sounds like it's more of a like, well, that could be the case, but it's probably just a rumor made up by the community. It's true the patent number is known. Yeah. Let me take a look. Because like I said, like I've heard this mentioned several times. I've never actually seen anything on it. I'm going to be honest with you. Already, just from the very first paragraph of this patent, I don't think it's an issue. I literally don't think it can apply because it's too broad. Oh, there we go. There's NP3 Kuku. Ah, feels good, man. Finally, the third copy. Yeah, so now we're a little bit behind average. Yeah, 990 for 3 copies isn't terrible. I'm pretty sure Tucson mentioned in a past Famitsu interview for 8th Annie or 9th. Not as far as I know of. But yeah, like that patent's wording seems to be too broad. Like quite literally, by definition. Because they like, and it may just be like a terminology issue, but what I'm reading from that is that like they keep talking about as they like to call it, what's known as an information processing apparatus. And I'm like, cool. You can apply this to like such a concept as leveling up in a video game. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't see how that's enforceable in any way. Like that's already way too broad of a definition. Every Turing machine, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Like I said, is it a patent? Sure, you guys just showed me the patent. Does the patent actually prevent them? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, right? Aniplex wouldn't spend the money to hire lawyers to fight it. I mean, maybe. Right? Like, Aniplex being stingy is something that is actually known, but yeah, it's like I don't know, right? Like I'm not a lawyer, nor am I an expert in Japanese law by any stretch of the imagination. So don't trust my opinion on something like that. But just from a precursor reading of it, it kind of seems like, yeah, I don't know that that's actually specific enough to really stop them. Don't know about 120? No, I won't be 120ing her. Not on my NA. My NA does not have the grails to spare. If it's good or just patent trolls that would cost millions to fight. Let me put it to you this way. I'm not even sure that it deals specifically with the thing you guys are talking about. That's how broad it is. Right? Like I'm trying to put that in common sense terms. So that we're clear here. Is there a patent that exists? Yes. Does it apply specifically to leveling up multiple skills at a time in a video game? I'm not sure. Like I can't actually state that for certain based off just the initial like opening of it. Because it seems way too broad in what it's trying to say. So what I'm trying to say again is that like it may not actually be a thing that's preventing them at all. Lazy Town, yep. Although I'm not really sure why this one was song requested for Kuku. Any patent lawyers in chat? Probably not. Might be the US version of that patent. It doesn't appear to be. If anything, it just states that this is the Japanese patent. It also doesn't appear like it deals with the same thing. This is a different execution that it's trying to patent. Oh, for the streaming service stock. Okay, I got you. Let's actually use some of my fragments there. Get another spin. Who is beneficial more, NP2 Tez or Kuku? I think it kind of depends on your account. Like, it's a little bit an apples to oranges argument. They're both AoE, but one's an AoE assassin. The other is a like AoE buster. Like one's an AoE assassin. The other's an AoE buster foreigner. One charges the party. The other has a targetable charge. So it's like I can't really say for certain in that regard, because it kind of depends on like what you have and what you need. Like I'm sure. Listen, if I were a proper content creator, I would just tell you one. But instead, I'm trying to like tell you that the answer is actually not clear. I'm trying to give you the truth. If that makes any sense. Sometimes I prioritize telling chat the truth and teaching chat rather than just being a good content creator and saying something that'll get chat to argue. It's still wild to me that Kuku's finally here. Oh yeah, listen, dude, like playing JP and having that 2-year gap and then also playing an A, you start to go like, what the actual like, because like things that you saw 2 years ago are now like happening on another server, and it is always a mind-boggling thing. I'm not here for content. Damn, I didn't realize I didn't provide any content. Pick your favorite for MP2. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, right? Like, I think Tez is a really, really strong unit in circumstances, but same thing with Kuku, right? Like having party charged for Tez can be really, really useful. I think Kuku, and I've said this before, like a lot of people will say like, oh, well, you have the targetable charge on her. That's true. I'm just always going to use it on Kuku. Like 9 times out of 10, it's going to go on Kuku because Kuku is probably stronger than whatever other unit I could be targeting for with it. If I wasn't here, you wouldn't have chat arguing. Chat couldn't discuss food with you. Chat can always discuss food with me. Chat just doesn't. Mostly because I know that food is a contentious topic, and if I ask chat about food, then I also know that chat will literally, like, scream. Mayo bad? Okay, never mind. I agree with chat. There you go, chat. You have spoken. Mayo is in fact bad, and we can ban mayonnaise in this chat. Because both the streamer and the chat agree. And how can I say this? Well, it's simple. I saw one person in chat say it, therefore that is the consensus of all of chat. Tomato, is it a fruit or a vegetable? It's a fruit. It's really interesting. Honey mustard is mostly mayo? Actually, that depends on how you make the honey mustard. It varies from place to place. Can we ban the streamer? I mean, you could probably get me banned. Isn't mayo a drink now? No. If it bears seeds, it's a fruit. Interesting. Are we sure about that? But does the 5-second rule apply to soup? If you spill soup on the floor, can you eat it before 5 seconds are up? How much did you spill? Spill a drop? Like, so this is an interesting idea. Because, like, normally when you drop something on the floor, assuming your floors are relatively clean, it's not going to, like, have that good of odds of, like, actually picking up that much, like, dirt or dust or anything. But with a liquid, I don't know that the 5-second rule applies to any sort of liquid. Because liquid will absolutely pick up everything by nature. Oh, Chad, I saw this question before in VIP. But do you go cereal then milk or milk then cereal? Neither I'm lactose intolerant. Why do you lactose? Both at once. Oh, that's a little chaotic. Guess milk and cereal if you like making a mess, yeah? We go dry here. So, okay, so like nobody is actually like chaotic water cereal. I'm glad to see that, which is funny because I also have cereal dry and I do drink water with it a lot of the time, but I don't pour water on my cereal. That's just terrifying. Don't ever do that. How do you feel about ranch? Are you about to try and tell me that ranch is somehow mayo? Because it's not if it's proper ranch. If ranch has mayo in it, someone fucked up the ranch. Ranch good? Yes, ranch good. Ranch good. Blue cheese, eh. I don't really like blue cheese. But I understand some people love it, so. Cereal, then oil, then cranberry juice. What kind of a monster are you? Ranch has mayo in it? No. Again, it does not. At that point, it's not ranch anymore if it has mayo in it. Blue cheese has a time and a place. See, for me, it doesn't. But again, I at least understand that some people do really like it. Like it's one of those deals where it's like, I'm not gonna say like, how dare you like blue cheese, but you're never gonna convince me to like blue cheese. Chips with tomato sauce or gravy? Wait, are you saying chips with ketchup? or like actual tomato sauce? Mayo, buttermilk, seasonings equal ranch? No. Again, that's not ranch. No, Ash. We've had this argument before. Ketchup, sorry, I'm an Aussie. No, it's fine. Like, so like here in the States, tomato sauce and tomato paste and ketchup are 3 different things. So like that's why like I asked for clarification there. What do you mean, no, we haven't? Yes, we have. Why do you think I remember it? And I remember literally arguing with you over this. Ranch does have mayo commonly, but sour cream can be substitute. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's not ranch. Like, that's literally people being lazy. Making ranch from scratch, it won't have mayo in it. Not unless you fucked it up. I need Canada's all dressed chips in the States. So what's the all dressed? Like is that just a ton of like extra seasonings? What about pineapple on pizza? See, this is where this conversation always devolves into. You can't talk about food with somebody asking, what about pineapple on pizza? Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not like a pizza purist in the sense that like all pizza must return to its Italian roots specifically. But I am going to say that I do believe most pizza should be savory. And most pizza should probably have like certain ingredients on it to be called pizza. At that point, if you don't, you're probably not pizza anymore. Like, for instance, there are pizzas that like literally use like white sauces, or again like crap. Like I've seen like buffalo chicken pizzas where the sauce is actually like buffalo sauce. So like, to me, at that point, that's not really pizza anymore. That's just like, yo, you literally just made like a buffalo chicken sandwich. And it's an open-faced buffalo chicken sandwich. Chorizo on pizza better than pepperoni? Listen, in that regard, I do still think the best pizza, and this is where I do become a purist, the best pizza is like the original Italian pizza. It's literally the best pizza I've ever had. It's like the American equivalent of like a margarita pizza, if you've ever had it. It's literally bread, tomato sauce. Sorry, when I say bread, I mean like dough. Okay. Dough, tomato sauce, again, some cheese, and literally just like Roma tomatoes and like some prosciutto. That's it. That's all that's on it. And it's freaking amazing. I love it. Yeah, it's literally, it's like one of the lightest, like, best things you'll ever eat. Imagine, chat, eating pizza and it being simultaneously filling, but also really light on your stomach, as opposed to, like, most modern America pizzas that you get from, like, a delivery place or something like that. Like, oh my God. You are eating like 90% of that pizza is just dough. Like you are stuffing yourself. Oh, and basil. Yes, the basil as well. Soft and chewy or hard and crunchy? Both. Right in between. Right in between. The perfect middle point. It needs to be soft and chewy and hard and crunchy at the same time. Begun the pizza wars have. Like I said, to me, that's like the best pizza that you can get. But I do recognize that like there are many forms of pizza. Now, does pineapple belong on pizza? To me, no, not really. But if you like put a piece of pineapple pizza in front of me and you said, Cad, try this, would I pick it up and would I take a bite out of it? Yeah, I would. I've never had pineapple on pizza, but I wouldn't be opposed to trying it, basically. Do I want an entire pizza that has pineapple on it? No, probably not. And to be fair, I think a lot of the arguments, oh my God, again, a lot of the arguments against pineapple on pizza are that it is sweet, but a lot of like modern like pizza sauces are also sweet, so I don't think it's like that big of a stretch. In Germany, it's called Pizza Hawaii. Yeah. It makes great grandma pizza. Okay, so what's that? What's worse, pineapple on pizza or anchovies? Anchovies are like, as far as I understand it, a salty and tangy ingredient. So to me, that's like not that different from putting like, say, like banana peppers or something on a pizza. Like anything that provides tang. Not an anchovies person. Yeah, I'm not really an anchovies person either, but like I get like where that's coming from. We had ham and corn on pizza. I mean, I know like true Hawaiian pizza has spam on it. Like it's spam and pineapples in some cases. Ham on pizza, I don't think it's bad. Corn? I don't know about corn. Corn kind of a weird topping there. Like maybe, right? Like I could see that being like okay cuz we have like vegetable pizzas that have a ton of stuff. But like yeah, I don't know about corn. I feel like texture-wise I wouldn't really care for that too much. Like it wouldn't feel like I'm eating a pizza anymore at that point. But the same way, like I've seen people put like actual like broccoli on pizza, and I'm like, no, like at that point you're just gonna like constantly be dealing with the texture of the broccoli rather than the pizza. I had a taco pizza. Wait, are you talking about like the Taco Bell like Mexican pizza? Chocolate on spaghetti, on the other hand? Well, I mean, if it's just chocolate on the spaghetti, I think that's fine. If it's like chocolate on spaghetti with like normal like tomato sauce, no, that's disgusting. Why would you combine those? But like just spaghetti noodles with like that are chocolate covered, I guess. I don't think that'd be that crazy. We like chocolate coat everything nowadays. Corn on pizza, Kuku would love that. Probably. The Dominican Republic, it was super common. Yeah, I guess it would probably depend on like how much corn is on it. The go-to is jalapeno and pepperoni. I unfortunately, like for me, so like I'm trying to like get away from pepperoni nowadays because pepperoni usually causes me heartburn. So it's one of those things where like I've learned that like, hey, pepperoni is nice. I don't mind it every now and then, but I probably shouldn't eat it. And so like I do try to stay away from that. Meat lovers is my favorite. I do love a good meat lovers pizza every now and then. All right, getting some like Italian sausage, some pepperoni, some oh god, like ham or bacon. Okay. Even deeper we go. Sounds really bad on the belly? Probably. I dislike chocolate? Oh no, you poor thing. That's not a like, how dare you? That's a like, I just feel sorry for you. My go-to is pepperoni and sausage or ham and green peppers. See, I'm not a huge fan of green peppers. I like red, yellow, and orange peppers. Those are great to me. But green peppers have like some acidity to them that I'm not a huge fan of. Like I can eat it, but not my preference. Jerk chicken pizza that I loved. That I'd be willing to try that. That sounds interesting. Because that's up there in the terms of like, hey, this is like pretty savory, like as jerk chicken is. But I could see that being a thing. Oh, hi, Percy. How's it going? Why didn't you show up on my JP account again? I just got my first Percival on JP like not too long ago. I gotta watch how much salty stuff I eat these days. I don't have any issues with salt. I can eat salt until like literally the cows come home. In fact, what I usually have noticed is that my body, like internally, I either crave something salty or I crave something sweet. And I've learned that like sometimes I have to like balance these. But otherwise, like there's no such thing for me, I guess, at the moment as like eating too much of any of them. If I eat too much sugar, I crash. If I eat too much salt, I get dehydrated. That's really all it is. But I understand that that's a like there could be medical issues and stuff with that. Like my my aunt basically has that Meniere's disease. Later, Katana. Have a good one. How about curry pizza? I can't really render a judgment on curry pizza because curry is like literally anything. So like that really depends on what the flavor of the curry is. Like curry pizza could be good or it could be disgusting depending on what it is. I didn't know Kuku made music, apparently. A better pizza place or a better frozen pizza? Here, what if I told you this? Okay, you know you can buy pizza dough, like literally kind of like already like rolled out. So buy that and make your own pizza. Like buy that, get some tomato sauce, get whatever cheese you want, get a couple of toppings, bake that in your oven. Fantastic. And then you get whatever pizza you want. Not constrained by these terrible topping choices that normal pizzerias have. The world is your oyster. Heck, you can even put oysters on your pizza. We have a lot of sweet pizza. Yeah, I mean, like, I know, like, when I was a kid, and I'm sure it's probably still a thing, but, like, they used to have, like, dessert pizzas at Pizza Hut. So, like, to an extent, like, dessert pizzas have been a thing where it's, like, it's basically the equivalent of, like, a sweeter pizza dough, but then you have, like chocolate and, like, maybe even, like, nuts and, like brown sugar and like vanilla and stuff like that they might like put on the pizza. It's really good. Oysters on pizza doesn't sound too bad. It's a thing. I've seen seafood pizzas before. Yeah, cinnamon sugar. What's the count at? We are at NP3 Kuku. We're kind of due in for another copy here. I take frozen pizza and apply my own toppings. Gotcha. Not the sauce or the crust. It's at that point, it's really not that like difficult to do. But like that's I remember that's what my parents used to do all the time when I was a kid. If we weren't doing the how I like to inform chat the struggle meal, my parents used to make what they like to call little pizzas, which were, hey, if we like for whatever reason we're just like out of food or we don't want to like go to the grocery store or heck, I don't know, like maybe we're short on cash, right? Like basically get some bread, some slices of bread, again, put on a little bit of tomato sauce, maybe like if you have like a bar of cheese or something, like even with like cheddar cheese at that point. I know that sounds sacrilegious, but like basically any sort of cheese, just cut it into slices, lay it on top, and then like bake that in the oven. And if you're lucky, you maybe have like some onions or onion powder that you can put on it, or like maybe, I don't know, like some pepperoni or something like for another topping, like any number of things that you could do. Excuse me? Yeah, little pizzas. The thing. English muffins? Yeah, I've actually had it on English muffins before too. My parents have done that at least once. Because it was just like, oh, we don't have bread, but we have English muffins. Let's make them on the English muffins. I was like, this kind of tastes like ass, but I get it. Like, it's also like, it's fine. Pizza bagels, yep. That's just bigger bagel bites. Yeah, 100%. That sounds like a struggle meal. It is. Like, again, depending on the level of struggle, like the less struggling you are, the more toppings you have, and the more it's more like an actual pizza. The more struggle, the less toppings you have. I can't tell you how many times I like as a kid just had to eat like bread with like butter on it or something. Like, and that's like, oh man, you're lucky to have the butter, right? Why not just put cheese on bread like normal people eat their bread? Well, because I think the concept is like turning it into a pizza and like actually baking it. Snooze, thank you for this 18. Appreciate it, my dude. God, there's so many redeem notifications. How are you doing today? I've been so addicted to League for a month now. That's all good. How are you enjoying it? We're better off now, yeah. If you add vegetables to pizza, the veggies should be pre-baked or the pizza comes out soggy. I think it kind of depends on the vegetable, but yeah, like have you ever like had to like reheat leftovers? And it's like you had the various like you might have like the meat, you might have like the starch, and you might have the vegetable. Well, naturally you reheat the vegetable the least amount of time. Like you first put it in there when it's just the meat, then you put the starch in there, then you put the vegetable in there. Because like if you do it all at the same time, they end up at like one of them is like molten hot and the other one is like still cold. A mano sandwich. Dare I ask what a mano sandwich is? It's unhealthy. Yes, it is. For the snow fell and I only have crappy leftovers today. All the food talk is making me hungry. Same, actually. Oh, I had chili today though. I was very lucky. My mother made a huge pot of chili, so at lunch when I was headed home to take out the dogs, I ran over there and I got some chili. And my mom makes great chili, but technically I guess like I've been informed that like the form of chili that my mother makes is not like how chili is supposed to be made. At least like depending on the part of the world that you're from. Because I guess like my mother loves to put like kidney beans in it, and I love it. It's great. But I guess like certain parts of the world like no, you're not supposed to put beans in chili at all. I put peanut butter with sugar on my bread when I was a kid. Yeah, it's a thing. Or like cinnamon toast. Like literally. Ever had a Cuban sandwich? Oh yeah, all the time. And I swear to God, if someone says that there's mayo on a Cuban sandwich, I'm gonna slap them. Metalne? I can't spell it. It's not ringing a bell for me, so I don't know if it's something I've ever heard of before. Here's that hot plate of cold food you wanted. Yeah. Chili kind of sounds like curry. There's infinite varieties. Yeah, to a degree. Really is. White condiment? You talking about mayonnaise? Mayonnaise. No, not a mayo sandwich. I knew. Something told me that's what you were trying to say, and I was like, I don't know if I should ask. Yeah, I've heard of mayo sandwiches before. Really? I thought beans go in chili. I think it just depends. Like depending on the part of the world that you're from, like you can put it in it or not. But I think it's like in Texas you're not supposed to. You gonna skip 7.2 today? I mean, at this point, the rolls are just ongoing, so we shall see. We still haven't gotten the fourth copy even. Chili I find is more about the spices and the style than the ingredients. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I can eat like if you were like, hey, here's some chili without like beans in it, I'd be perfectly fine with it. Like it's again like kind of like curry. It doesn't really matter what you put in. It really just matters what the end flavor is. As long as the flavor's good, you probably don't care. In the same way that like there are so many things that you could call stew. So it's like it doesn't really matter as long as the stew is good. Texas swears by no beans, yeah. Hot dog chili, no beans. So my dad loves to make chili dogs. Like, especially if we have like leftover chili. He'll do that. Or if we make like sloppy joes, he'll turn leftover sloppy joes into a chili dog. Beans, peppers, beef, maybe sausage, corn, onions, corn. Yeah, see, I don't put like corn in chili, but like I've had it in chili before and I'll eat it. You make chicken chili as well? Yeah, my mother loves chicken chili. I do not. I'm not like that. To me, if there's anything that's sacrilege when it comes to chili, it's making it with chicken. I don't know why, but I don't like the flavor of chicken in chili. Like, more power to you if you do, but for me, it's like, nah. Sprinkle with cinnamon? Yep. Stew equal thick soup? Pretty much. My dad would make chili mac with the leftovers. I had to give up on homemade meatballs. I just couldn't get them consistently good. I'd say like watch some videos on that because like there are a lot of really good like cooking tips videos for like making stuff like that. Because I'm trying to remember because there was like a tip that I remember seeing and I don't remember if it was like you're supposed to like wet it or something beforehand. I don't remember what the tip was. Yeah, I've had beef chili, I've had pork chili, I've had vegetarian chili. I've also had like venison and buffalo chili. And like all of them are fine except chicken. I can't stand the flavor of chicken in chili for some reason. Chicken chili is way too lean, yeah. How many copies so far? We are on 3 copies at 1320 cent quarts. So now we are pretty oof territory here. The beef in the beef taco from Taco Bell was actually the owner's chili recipe for chili dogs. I believe that. Like I don't even doubt that for a second because that is the exact like consistency of the chili that my dad will use for chili dogs. It's that exact same type. So like you telling me that, I would believe you. Like I have no reason to doubt that. I have a friend who loves making deer chili. Yep. I've not had any venison in a while. Yeah, I mean it's not a like common thing down here in Florida. There are deer, and I believe there's even a deer hunting season, but it's not a very common meat that you find. Like my understanding is venison's way more common like out west. And even then, still not that common. Yeah, if you need to get somebody tapped in, Torak, just like see if anybody's in VIP. Mr. Streamer Man, say something funny. I'm very sick and want to be distracted. Well, you're the one telling a joke. Best meatballs I made for spaghetti. I used an egg. 5 packs crushed up Captain Wafer crackers, parm cheese, some salt and pepper, and baked them till done. Interesting. Wait, writer. Oh, Dobrynya. Did I have NP5 of her? I don't remember. I don't think I do. Multiple pities can't come soon enough. I mean, we're not at the point where we would have hit a pity yet, but this is like this fourth copy is getting kind of spicy. Because like again, like on average, somewhere around like the 900 quartz mark would have been average for 3 copies. So that would have made 1200 the average for 4, which we're 150 over that now. We're about 50% over average, and that's just rough estimates. Yun, yun, yun. Torak, look, it's Bob. Rope Bob into this. I threw a video on Taco Bell and content suggestion. We'll definitely get around to content suggestion. It's just right now, like, all my focus is on 7.2, like, stream-wise. So I'm trying to, like, get all of that done. So it's like, we'll definitely revisit, like the content suggestion streams. It's 340 for average for rate up, if I remember correctly. Oh god, no, we're not getting into this conversation again. We're not getting into this conversation again. Kind of scared to eat deer around here. Ever heard of chronic wasting disease? No, I have not. Calling a zombie virus will originate from there? Oh, God. I think I've discovered my least favorite character for LB7. Okay, don't tell me. Like literally, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Again, because it may be spoiler to me. It's like mad cow disease, but for deer. Yeah. And it sucks too, because if it's that way, then I assume it kind of ruins it if you're trying to like, you know, like again, like you're trying to like get venison or something off of it. I'm debating between waiting for teapots for major boost in bond points or just finishing LB7. What are your thoughts? Finish LB7. Not worth waiting. I mean, like, I guess you can if, like, you know, you're like, oh, hey, we're about to tick over here. It's like there's no rush to do it in the next, like, I don't know, like 8 days or anything like that. But it is what it is. I'm gonna say it's like, in general, I'm just not a huge fan of waiting around because it's like, oh, hey, you know, like our next event will be Valentine's Day on NA. That's fine, but like, what are you gonna do in the meantime? Because like you could be going out and like actually farming those free quests. So ask yourself if the bond point gain is worth the loss of like the AP being spent on the new materials that you might need. Arcade collab is April for NA, is it? No, I think it's March. April should be the like ordeal call. Cad, when are you going to explain why the spider does what it does when it defeats servants? We're not there yet, so I'm not even going to mention that. I literally cannot answer that question or even humor it without getting into spoiler territory. Remember, chat, not everybody's done with the Lost Belt yet. We get storm pods soon, which are better for Bond anyways. Yeah, that too. Magic bullshit, go? Well, you sound like Moon Knight now. Whatever leftover luck I had from Kuku rolls. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, wow. That's really lucky. Doubles over twice? Holy crap. Probably get hit by a meteor this week? Yeah, that, you should be on the lookout. Watch out when crossing the road. Make sure there's no trucks headed your way. A lot of tobacco fields around this area. Pesticides are going into it. Ooh. Saber. Uh-oh. Okay. Suzuka. I was worried it was going to be like an SSR, and I was like, oh. So meme songs are the catalyst? No, I don't think they're the catalyst at all. In fact, I think the song request is the reason that we're not getting more copies of her chat. Had to recheck my account like half an hour later to make sure I didn't dream it. Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's better than even my record. I think my cheapest is my cheapest Bunny still? I think my cheapest is Bunny still at like NP5 and like 540 or something. You're just really, 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 really lucky. Cad, what's your favorite non-Newtonian fluid? So first of all, what's a non-Newtonian fluid? Like something that doesn't obey the laws of like gravity? What? What? Yeah. Cat, I only have NP5 since I'm free to play, and it's Castoria, and I did it in exactly 430 Sankcorts. I only have one NP5. Oh, hey, I mean, listen, I've seen people get upset over getting an additional copy of Castoria, and I'm like, I could understand if it was an NP6 or higher, but like, huh? Like generally nowadays the supports are actually pretty good to get additional like NP levels on. Like you don't need it, but getting it is like, well, it's not a waste. You're actually, oh god, I think that's my first of that. No? Okay. Apparently I already had one on NA. Chat spoiling Cad's rolls. Usually they try. Fluid in extreme conditions. They're just not normal fluid mechanics. Wait, so are we talking about like mercury or like plasma? Fluids that act almost solid if you try to run across them, but liquid if you stopped moving. Oh, yeah, I feel like I've heard of some of these before, but like I don't know any of them off the top of my head. Because they're usually like metals, aren't they? Like metals that are like liquid at room temperature and stuff. Oobleck? Okay, never mind. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. Paris, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Cad snaps quickly becoming your favorite. Well, good. I like that chat actually does enjoy my emotes. I feel like most of chat doesn't use my emotes nowadays, sadly. I need an emote revival in chat because y'all used to like spam my emotes. Feels bad, man. Bunturia was 21 multis, by the way. Wait, me or you? Me? Did you even get a black grail? I have not yet. Thank you, Bob, for taking over. Appreciate it. Yes, you. Who, me? Wait, so 21 would be what? Like 6:30? Cag, can I ask a question about the part of LB7 you already read, the Benny part? No. I'm not even memeing you. Chat, I would say let's save it for like a discussion stream for that. Because like I have no idea, like some people are here like watching the rolls, and some people may not be like far into LB7 yet, or even in LB7 for that matter. Usually I like to say like, hey, if we have like big things to actually discuss that are potentially like big spoiler and stuff, like let's save it for the actual stream. But don't worry, we'll have that soon. Need 69 multis to be truly great. Yeah, great cost. I'm still on part 1 of LB7. Please don't spoil. See, there you go. Tlaloc will be swimming in rare prisms rather than rain. Pretty much, dude. Like, she just here. She just doing things. At this point, I'm wondering if I'm even going to get NP5 before the end of stream. This is a thing. We may have to continue rolls tomorrow if this doesn't speed up in a hurry. Skip or die? No, I mean, like, to a degree, chat, I'm perfectly fine with this. I don't mind if we have to continue into tomorrow. More roll content, good content. Ended up getting NP3 of Kuku hunting for NP5 Tlaloc. Jesus. Yeah, like it's weird because I've heard of several people like trying to get more Tlaloc just not having good luck, which is kind of wild because she is solo rate up 4-star, and usually solo rate up 4-stars are not bad. Where we start to get bad is where we have dual or triple or even like quadruple rate up 4-stars, right? Like usually dual and higher is like, all right, now you're just gonna get screwed by the gacha. But usually single rate up 4-star is not too difficult to secure. Usually. Reason why I wanted to play it was because of Arc. Nice. Gotcha disagrees, apparently. Apparently, right? 5% seems like a lot, but somehow it's not. Don't worry, chat. Like all the extra money here is being provided by me canceling my Netflix membership. Tell me about it. NP5 Okitan and on a single summer Charlotte on an A. Yeah, that happens. We got one and no Kuku. This banner treated me bad. At least Tez didn't. You know, that's another thing. I feel like some people are roll Tez because like they really like the gameplay or they just like the meminess of the character. Whereas like a lot of people are probably rolling Kuku because again, hot woman and strong damage, right? So it's like there's just going to be a crap ton of people probably rolling for Kuku. And I swear to God, it feels like the banners where people like not everyone's rolling are usually luckier. They're usually like nicer to everyone. I think the only exception to this is logically Anniversary. And the reason Anniversary is nice to you is it's actually not nice to you. You just got given a shit ton of free quartz. And that's usually like it's enough for people to like be like, oh yeah, hey, I didn't even realize like this was just such an easy banner for me because I didn't have to spend anything. Gonna run a choo-choo on the Kuku. Yeah. Or 1,400 sand quartz. We are 1,470 deep. We're about at 1,500. So we are... Like I said, I was going by like the clip of like 300 per copy. But at like 330... Like, yeah, we're almost 600 quartz into this copy. Do you normally do single paid summons? Yeah, usually. Like not like every day. Creamy's actually better at doing that than I am. I don't know what it is, but like the paidless single, I've just been like not doing very much lately. That's hella fun to single DPS. Yeah. Wait for multi-core, but I don't know if it's worth it at NP1. But again, I think with like any sort of multiple damage dealer setup, it's like your NP1 Tez probably won't be strong enough in like higher nodes, but that doesn't mean you can't use him to like handle like the like easy wave or something. Have him be the setup guy for someone else, right? The best AoE assassin is Cleo. Plan for pulling for Coin of Light whenever she returns. Yeah. Coin of Light, like a lot of people obviously view her in the support aspect, but not a lot of people think of her as like an actual damage dealing like AoE assassin. She's actually quite good for that. The only wonkiness is again like the cooldown in her charge skill for herself, but who cares? Oh, trying to rub it in my face, huh, Win? Trying to collect them all, yeah. It keeps the gacha cravings away. I don't really have the gacha cravings anymore. How long have we been rolling for? 2.5 hours? Probably. It's a thing. Sometimes the gacha giveth, sometimes the gacha taketh. Game doesn't directly tell you how much you need for pity, right? There is no pity. At least not at this point. Feel good Dragon Dragoon. They give it the follow. That thing looks insane. For 90 plus now? No, I mean, I haven't seen any of that, but I've been literally telling you guys Seal's insane and people underestimated her. Like, Seal at this point is one of the, like, strongest units in the game. Just in terms of her, like, both her potential, but also, like, just how useful she's been. Because the devs just keep, like, making her useful for nodes. If you like a character, you can make them work. Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, that's honestly my biggest gripe about 90 plus content is that sometimes you can't make the character work. And I hate that. Like to me, it shouldn't be that way. Like, I feel like, oh, if we're going to roll for the units, they should all be capable of working. And like, again, like, yeah, certainly if you're taking a rider to like an assassin node, that's just stupid, right? But like, if you're taking a rider to a caster node, like, yeah, it shouldn't matter really what rider you're taking. Like, I don't know, maybe you could have like the low stars get a little bit like scaled out at that point, but I don't know, like the fact that so many of the 4 and 5 stars are not like viable solutions in 90 plus content right now kind of salts me. Like they really do need to actually address that. And they are, to a degree. Like, we have seen them go on a decent tear of upgrades So I just want them to continue that pace and like actually start bringing more of the roster like in line with the content. Because again, that's the way it used to be. It used to be, yeah, like you could just make any character work, and game was really accessible because of that. But this is where, again, I think it's like it boils down to the argument of like, do you have to do 90++? And I'm of the opinion that no, you don't. Roads to Rome, thank you for the follow. Also, Garcialu, thank you for the follow as well. You card swap with Seal and swap to your actual DPS, then lock with Summer BB. Yeah. I mean, that's actually not new. That's something we literally talked about when Seal first came out. What NP level's my Seal? Mine's NP3. You don't need NP3 though. Like almost everything I've done with her can still be done with like an NP1. Like Seal's just that freaking good. Yeah, I again, chat, it's not a new comp. I hate to say this. This is not like, oh my god, someone figured this out. This is new tech. No, literally we talked about this when she first came out. You haven't seen me use it because I haven't had to use it. Like it's been one of those things where we've literally had it where like we can consolidate it otherwise. Would NP1 Seal be enough, or would a higher NP be necessary? Usually most of Seal's capability is like jam-packed into her kit and her cards. So to me, the NP, like, yeah, it can be nice to have a higher level, but it's not strictly necessary. Now, keep in mind, too, though, chat, like, if you're going to run certain compositions, like, for instance, like, oh, hey, we're going to do, like, card lock with, or we're basically going to do Seal, bring in our actual damage dealer, and then card lock, you can do that, but you're giving up one of the support slots. Like Summer BB, other than card locking, does nothing for your unit. She's not buffing your unit, right? So that is a thing, and that's something to consider. But it's like, can you make it work? Yeah, probably, especially if you have high enough like MP levels, or like the carding is the real gimmick there. It's just strong, right? Around NP 18? Oh, I have no idea. We've gotten 13, yeah, so it's probably, well, now it's 19. Is Seal's carding that strong? I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, like I said, I remember when she first came out, I was telling people, like, this carding is legit. You're going to be able to do some really broken stuff with this. And I pointed out the fact that this is going to cause a little bit of balance problems because of her capability. And then I had, like, other people on the side being like, oh, no, she's actually not going to be that strong because, like, yeah, she's strong in her debut event, but she won't be able to card like this outside of it. Which was not right. And I've been trying to tell people that it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I still see the potential there. Even if we cut these numbers in half, they're freaking just destructive numbers. So it's like, yeah, it's just kind of been the thing ever since she's come out. A lot of it's just like Buster synergy in general is really strong. That's just Buster in a nutshell right now. Cat, give me 4 of those Tlalocs, please? Sure. If I could, I would. I maxed her cards and gave her 2k foe to maximize damage. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Like, absolutely, we'll get a lot of power out of that. Like, it's not going to necessarily make her, like, insane or anything. It's not like it's going to be like, oh, suddenly, like I could just waltz right through a node that she was going to struggle with otherwise. but it may just be something where it's like, yeah, it just makes her more consistent, or it allows you to like maybe be able to overcome slightly higher health values, which go for it at that point. Yeah, like I said, part of her strength at this point is not necessarily her strength. It's that the devs keep designing nodes that she just shits on. I think Leah already claimed all extra till Alex. Oh, true. Yes. Grats Mudrain. Wait, did I get a Mudrain that I didn't see? I saw I got the Muramasa CE. You did? Oh, sweet. Let's go. Yeah, that's one I will actually get excited for. Like that, I can't believe that one just went right by without me noticing it. Normally certain Cs like that, like when they show up on screen, I'm immediately like a user now to foreturn the current 90 plus 6 CE. The foreturn is because the boss still has 30 to 50k HP left. Yeah, see, and that's something where it's like if you had the higher NP level, it would make the difference, and you would turn it into a 3-turn. But it's not a lotto, and you're foreturning it probably consistently at that point because you're just so close to killing it. So it's like, who cares, right? Like at the end of the day, it's like, oh man, did you really need to roll an extra copy just for that? No. Also got a Mudrain today, my second one. Yeah, I'm definitely down to clan with Mudrains. A lot of it's again because like you just don't have a lot of rate up Cs. But yeah, chat, we are, let's see, 1620. I don't know if Bob, if you want to like paste that into like VIP or something somewhere so that we have track of it for tomorrow. But yeah, we are gonna end here with only 3 copies of Kuku, and this will be continued for literally tomorrow. Single roll right now? Nah, that's fine. We'll save it for tomorrow. I put it in mod so it doesn't get lost. Oh, true, that's a good point. But yeah, I got a little bit late start to the rolls, so it's kind of to be expected. But yeah, rolls are not going too hot at the moment. So it just is what it is. This sort of thing can happen. I've already told you guys, like, I'm used to it. So it's like, if you're wondering why I'm not like freaking the heck out or like losing my mind, that's why. It's literally like, I've been here before. This is just yet another trip into the abyss. So it's something, unfortunately, that I am used to. In the meantime, I see Mr. Ventos on. I'm gonna go send you guys his way. I haven't got to raid him in a while. He is rolling for Kuku himself, I believe. So go give that man some luck. I don't know if I have any luck to give, but whatever. We will lend him our power, chat. But again, thank you guys for being here. Sorry we didn't get to 7.2. We'll get to it tomorrow, I assure you. Unless Jesus, the rolls somehow go even worse, but let's hope they don't. But again, thank you guys. I appreciate you. If you guys haven't, check out the new video, the banner review video. It's the first part of the series. It's out now on YouTube. Go give me some views on that. I definitely appreciate it if you do. And I will see you guys for the next one. Go give Mr. Ventos my love and have a good evening.